Air Georgia and St. Louis. Just pick it against the point spread. Enter your info. That's all you got to do. Tournament. It's better in a bracket. You're never eliminated. You've always got another game you can play, and we'll have a game up every single game day. So even through the weekend, there's going to be a fresh game, and they're generally going to be the later games. So you got time to jump on right there at nextroundlive.com. That's St. Louis, Georgia. That's 8:45 CBS. 2 more late games before we get to trash. 9 o'clock TBS. Antoine Petway, head coach Kennesaw State, coaching his first NCAA tournament game as a coach. Obviously, he played in some big ones for Alabama. They play Gonzaga. I almost said at Gonzaga, but it's going to feel like it. Kennesaw State going from Metro Atlanta all the way to Portland to play the Zags, and they are a big dog.
Well, I look at if you want to get kind of a barometer on where Kennesaw State, look, it's been a great season getting to their first tournament. Where they are, though, against like tournament teams that they will go up against today. They played Antoine Petway, went against one of his former assistants, and Bryan Hodgson earlier this year. They lose that game by 19, and then against his former mentor and boss, Nate Oats, they lost by 11 earlier this year to Alabama. I just think it's a great story that they've gotten there. They're playing with house money. I don't see any world that they're able to pull this upset.
Gonzaga's a 21.5-point favorite in that one, so that's going to be a tough one. And then Idaho-Houston. Houston is a team I think a lot of people like because of Kelvin Sampson. I mean, the guy does nothing but get his team to the Elite Eight in the Final Four. I mean, it feels like they are there every single year. In fact, I'm going to go look at the last time he had what you would even call an early exit.
Well, I think people got
ago.
gun-shy on Houston earlier this year, not even earlier, 3 weeks ago when they lost 3 consecutive games. But those games were in Ames to Iowa State, one of the best.
That's a 3 seed. Or 2 seed, I'm sorry.
One of the best home court advantages in college basketball. They lose that game by 3 on the road. They lose to Arizona at home by 7, and then they lose at Kansas. So, I mean, those 3 losses are understandable. They beat Kansas recently. They beat BYU recently, and they lost to Arizona in the Big 12 final.
Going back to the 18-19 season, Sweet 16, Final Four, Elite Eight, Sweet 16, Sweet 16 runner-up. They just don't bow out early. I mean, that's what you get out of a Kelvin Sampson team.
Yeah.
They're going to stick around in the tournament. They're going to be there for the long haul. And a lot of people think that long haul could get them to the Final Four. Dunaway certainly does, but he's not alone in that. I mean, that's kind of what you get with Kelvin Sampson.
Yeah, look, and I just think they're going to force a ton of turnovers today. I think Houston wins this game going away.
Yeah, 23.5. They are favored in that one. Gutter cap.
Next Round shirts, Next Round hoodies, and Next Round hats all in one place, nextround.store. Find your favorite piece of gear from your favorite show and put it in your rotation. You never know, you might be in one of our videos showing Next Round gear being worn all over the world. Find all of your favorite Next Round gear by visiting nextround.store. Place an order for you and that big Next Round fan in your life at nextround.store. Look your best at work, at school, at the stadium, or anywhere you go wearing Next Round gear from nextround.store.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Day 1 in the books of the NCAA Tournament. It was a fun one as always. Great day overall for the Southeastern Conference. They got a bunch of teams back in action today. We'll talk about every single game that is going down today, but we got to start by looking back at what happened yesterday. Drama as always in the NCAA Tournament. He's Lance Taylor. I'm Ryan Brown. Jimmy D's still out in Vegas. Scott Forrester on the back row. Brooks is on the back row. Brooks Carter. Don't know why I went just first name with him. Tyler Johns, man in the ship there as well. We got the most of the crew here today. And an incredible first day of the NCAA Tournament. Look, you're always going to get some blowouts. So people are like, yeah, these blowouts. Man, freaking Siena took Duke to the wire.
Yeah, I was going to start there. I got to.
Is that where you wanted to start?
Well, I got to our friends at Walk-Ons, and it was such a tease job. Because when a 16's got them on the ropes, we have seen this one time in the entirety of this tournament when Virginia got knocked off as a 1 seed, and then the very next year they go out and they win the whole thing. This would have been the biggest upset in college basketball history. because you're talking about the number 1 overall seed in Duke against Siena, which the Saints were viewed, I guess, as the worst team in this tournament, right?
Well, I mean, if you're playing the overall
Yeah.
number 1, now they didn't play a play-in, so that complicates it a little bit. But they're among the worst.
Yeah, but you would agree. I mean, this probably, just because of the Duke brand is much stronger than Virginia.
Yes.
You probably would have said this is, arguably the biggest upset in college basketball history. So I didn't believe it would hold. But, I get to
when it's 43, it was 43-32 at the half, and I think it was 43-29 at one point. I'm like, it was at the point now where I'm like, okay, this could happen.
Yeah, I got to walk-ons, and the score was 61-58. Or no, 61-56. So Siena had a 5-point lead with 7 minutes to go.
Yeah.
And then they looked like they'd never seen a basketball before.
That happens.
Yeah, like they couldn't. It wasn't
collapsed.
even. 3 out of 4 possessions, they weren't getting shots off, and when they would get a shot off, they couldn't even hit the rim. And then they finally got a couple of pretty good looks in the final minute, and if they would have hit either one of them, they make it a 1-point game, and then they really put the pressure on Duke. But, still for a 1 seed to only win a game by 6 against a 16, when Duke is roughly a 30-point favorite, that was pretty crazy.
Well, Duke has played, they played Florida State. No, it wasn't. Yeah, it was Florida State right out of the chute in the ACC tournament. They kind of looked uneven a little bit, but they got back, they got back in their groove. But then their first game in this tournament, they've just not been the same since the injury.
Yeah, since Foster went down, a guy that was facilitating and doing a lot of things for this offense, you really don't have that true point that can take a game over. And, it's obvious they're a different team without him, and I think it's going to be really difficult for Duke to come out of the East. Now, maybe, I had a conversation with a couple of guys yesterday. Maybe that's the wake-up call, and we've seen this before. A team will struggle with, a team they shouldn't struggle with, and then they kind of snap out of it and they get on a roll, and maybe that's going to be Duke moving forward. I don't think they'll have any problem with TCU. I don't think TCU wants to play Duke with the way they struggled.
Yeah. But I agree with you. Being the overall, we've had 2 other ones lose, Virginia and Purdue, and I'm almost certain Purdue was the overall one that year too.
Did Purdue lose as a 1?
Oh yeah, Fairleigh Dickinson beat them.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know why I always just think about Virginia.
We watched it together. We were at.
I thought they might have been a 2.
No. They were a 1. We were at Todd English Pub.
Yeah.
Brought it up yesterday. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday. And but Duke with the brand of Duke, and the fact that they were the overall number 1 in this tournament with that brand, that would have been the biggest upset in tournament history. Yeah. You're always going to remember the Maryland, Baltimore County, because that was the first time it had ever happened.
Boy, and that was an ass whipping.
That's not the way I thought it was going to go down when it finally did happen.
Yeah, and you're like, how is this team not really, really good? How have they not been making noise all year? Because they looked athletic, and they, that wasn't Siena yesterday.
No, it was Duke playing bad.
Yeah, the upset everybody's talking about is High Point, and High Point hurt you and I because we both had Wisconsin knocking off Arkansas in the second round.
They went 83-82 in a fantastic game.
Oh, it was incredible. And,
you had a kid shooting from the freaking logo, not even moving the net.
Yeah, Chase Johnston comes in, a guy that hadn't hit a 2-point field goal, and I'm sure everybody's heard this by now, and his only 2-point basket he makes in transition yesterday gives them the win. But watching him on the 4 threes he made, he never sets his feet. He looks like a guy that you would see in an intramural game at your local gym or your local Y playing, and guys just running down the court, throwing it up from 30, no set feet, and the form is absolutely awful, and he does nothing but make threes. But that High Point Panthers team, they look like a team that belongs. I don't know about moving forward, but
they got to play Arkansas next.
That's going to be tough.
That's going to be tough right there. I bet you, I'm just going to roll the dice. I have not looked at High Point's schedule from this year, Lance, their outcomes. I'm going to bet you they've not seen a Darius A Cup this year.
I bet they haven't. Now, their coach let us know. He reminded me, Forster's back there shaking his head.
Did Scott
Last
like
chance you, Jason Brown, the coach JB, he's got some of that in him.
Okay, well, let's go to it. Cut 8, Tyler, if you will.
He's a very confident guy.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So, Scott, you saw the same thing, huh? JB, I cannot stand that guy, that Jason Brown guy. Not personally. I've never met him. I'm just talking about his persona is the most annoying in the world.
Apparently got a really big podcast that I just recently found out about. But anyway.
Probably not my cup of tea. But
Probably not. But this guy got a little Steve Carell the way he looks right there. Maybe Steve Carell's, younger brother that sells cars.
Spinning here, Steve Carell.
Yeah. But just listen to this guy.
Okay.
It reminds me of Jason Brown in Last Chance U.
This is Flynn Clayman. What a name.
Yeah.
Flynn Clayman. I mean, seriously, real quick. Flynn Clayman sounds like a movie name. It's a college basketball movie. You couldn't pay to get the rights to use stuff, so you have to make teams up like they're East Texas State. And who's their head coach? Flynn Clayman.
Yeah, Flynn Clayman is
Texas State
Timberwolves, coached by Flynn Clayman.
Flynn Clayman is the guy that's got a deal you cannot turn down. Like, I'm telling you, it's monumental. It's generational money. I know it's going to cost you $10,000 on the front, but I am telling you, this deal, it is airtight.
Has Flynn Clayman tried to sell me crypto before, Tyler, you think?
No, I think Flynn Clayman is like the shady record executive in every music biopic ever. It's like, I'm going to make you famous, kid.
Flynn Clayman said he's going to make us famous.
He runs off with all the money.
Yes.
He had the tie off like the drunk uncle at the wedding reception quickly.
All right, so this is Flynn Clayman, the High Point head coach, on the win over Wisconsin. We've described him many, many different ways. We report, you decide. Here's Flynn Clayman.
Tough to even put into words what just happened. Couldn't be more proud of this team. In the summer, when we get those shot tracker numbers back, and there's 63 schools in the country that have it, and we're number one every week in shots taken, they could talk about whatever we have, but we're working. We're selfless. And it's pretty obvious to me that something needs to be done about this non-conference scheduling. High Point and Miami, Ohio are 2-0 in quad one games. We couldn't get games. They couldn't get games. Akron couldn't get games. UNCW couldn't get games. Belmont couldn't get games. We won 22 of our last 23 games, and we didn't move up one spot in the metrics. Not one. We won 22 of our 23. We've won 25 games by double digits. That team right there is a fantastic team that beat 5 top 10 teams. If we can get games like this on neutral courts and some home games, I think we'd know who's really the best teams. I'm proud of these dudes, and we're not just here to win one game. We're here to get to the Sweet 16.
Coach in the tournament already. You don't have to keep running the resume. I get what he's saying. We'll discuss that in a moment. First, Birmingham's fastest party is returning to Barber Motorsports Park March 27 through 29. That is next weekend. It is the Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix. 3 days of high-speed action featuring the fastest drivers in the world from the IndyCar Series. Enjoy the Kids Zone, food trucks, beer garden, fan zone, and more. Kids 15 and under get in free. Get your tickets now for the Children's Alabama Indy Grand Prix, and a great place to watch the games today.
Our friends at Odie's Tavern, 2 locations for you. The original and Crestline. Newest location right there in Edgewood on Broadway and Homewood. Fantastic food from Rodney Davis. Been doing it almost 4 decades now. The award-winning wings, delicious burgers, fantastic sandwiches like the Diablo sandwich, ice-cold beer buckets full of the Bud Light. It's going to be touching 70 today. Great weather to sit on either one of those patios at Odie's. Sit back and watch all of the first-round action of the NCAA Tournament. Of course, all action this weekend. You've got live music Fridays and Saturday nights. Get in and see Will Haver, both locations. Birmingham Institution is Odie's Tavern.
Zach says, worst Flint since Walt Jr. in Breaking Bad. Did you like that character?
No.
I
got to bring this up now that because I'm just thinking about this. You watched The Pit, right?
Yeah, I did not watch last night.
Okay,
but
yeah,
I do watch
I haven't
it.
either. Yeah, and I do think that the in my opinion, The Pit is grinding to a halt.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm almost done with the show.
Yeah, this has not been. They had difficult following up a great first season.
Now they did a really good job outside of Noah Wiley with having a group of actors that nobody knows.
Right.
Now the little nerdy girl with the glasses.
It's Bryan Cranston's daughter.
Okay.
Did you know that?
I just found that out.
Did you really? Yeah.
Terrible actress.
There were people in the chat room yesterday say she's their favorite character.
I think she is a terrible actress, but it's one of those roles. Now maybe
she's also playing a part that is an awkward part to play.
It is a very awkward part, so we'll see moving forward.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be hard for me to believe that Bryan Cranston doesn't create a really good actress.
Yeah.
Love Bryan Cranston, and maybe she's just supposed to be because her sister's terrible in that part too.
Well, I mean that's not her actual sister, but you mean the one playing her sister? Yeah. Well, I assume it's not her actual sister.
I don't know.
So I don't know. Yeah, Bryan Cranston's daughter.
I was shocked by that. Do you know that?
I didn't know he had a daughter.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Yeah.
But I was just
I don't think her last name's Cranston either. She may be married. I don't know. I don't know what the
probably
situation
smart
is.
on her part not to use that name.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to open a lot of doors, but it's also going to create some issues.
But I was
for you.
blown away. I was like, holy hell, and unfortunately, he doesn't get a lot of great roles because he's been so typecast as Walt White.
Yeah. So what the coach just said right there is, and this is the case with Miami, Ohio, they're claiming nobody would play them. High Point is claiming nobody would play them. And I get where they're coming from. As somebody said in the chat, he ain't wrong. He's not wrong. I'm sure they tried to play these teams, and it's less penalizing in basketball than anywhere. You go lose to High Point, you can overcome that.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the problem, though. Like, High Point's good this year. If Nate Oats, and let my believers like, hey, Nate Oats will schedule him. He schedules everybody. I believe that. But here's the problem. If Alabama wants to schedule them, what if they're not as good next year and now it's a quad 3 game? You get no benefit from playing that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, how do I know how good this team's going to be next year because of the transfer portal?
But I will say this, the metrics are screwed up because, we talk about Miami, Ohio, like they beat nobody, but they've got emails out there. Forrester, I don't know if you've seen this, but they send emails to 7, 8, 9, Power 4 schools asking to play them.
Right.
And they got turned down on every one of those.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
But if we're going to sit back and be like, okay, they were 31-0, but they beat nobody, but they tried to play people. And if the metrics won't allow them at 31-0 to ever move up because they're not playing any quad 1 games, I mean, how's that their fault?
It's not their fault. But
I mean, it's a catch-22.
I also don't blame the other schools.
I get your side of it, but, that is something that, we got to take a look at because that's a broken part of college basketball.
Yeah, I mean, now basketball scheduling doesn't happen right now. Teams have got plenty of time to put High Point in their schedule after this tournament is over, and they know Flynn Clayman isn't taking another job. The problem is the portal. Like, you never know who's going to be on that team next year, and a lot of times it's a bunch of new parts. Now, I don't know about High Point. They could have been together forever. I really don't know. It is a complicated issue in basketball, and I would like to see it addressed. For instance, like, the big tournaments that could invite a High Point or could invite a Miami, Ohio, they're hesitant to do it because it's not a big TV draw, even if they're good again.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, in the off season, if you see Wisconsin playing Duke, one of these tournaments, I mean, that's two brands and it's something you want to watch. But if High Point's playing Wisconsin in one of these off season tournaments, nobody cares.
Yeah. I mean, that's part of the problem.
High Point did play UAB this year and lost by 17.
Yeah, did not go well.
They got smoked, no doubt.
Did not go well. So
that was not a quad 1, though.
It was not. I mean, that's one of Andy's very average team for Andy, and they got smoked. So, I mean, he can say all he wants that they would have gone and played the big boys and shown what they could do, but when you played UAB, you didn't. They did yesterday, though. They did when it mattered the most. And, hey, listen, the punishment of being a 12 seed, I say punishment. It's not really a punishment, but you get what I'm saying, right? It's over now. You're basically the 5 seed now because you've beaten the 5 seed. You got to play the 4. That's who you were going to play if you were Wisconsin. You were going to have to turn around and play Arkansas.
Well, and you heard Flynn Kaman talk about that their goal is to not just win 1, they want to win 2.
That's right. Now, you're the 5 seed now. So if they had made you a 5 seed going in this tournament, they'd have had a parade for you. Well, you are the 5 seed now. You've beaten the 5. Your bracket's now exactly what Wisconsin would have faced for the rest of this tournament.
Look, again, I said this yesterday. I don't think it was necessarily – it's not needed, but I think it is good when you get an upset in that first window of the tournament because it gets everybody talking about it.
That's right.
When I walked into walk-ons yesterday, our friend Ken West, how about High Point? I mean, everybody's going to talk about High Point. I mean,
you're absolutely right.
Because they busted a lot of people's brackets. I'm sure occasionally a person or two had High Point. Probably every 10th, 15th bracket, people probably had the 12 over the 5 there, but I didn't.
I did not. I had Wisconsin, and Brooks tells us this morning in his grading period that hurts me and you the most, that Dunaway had Arkansas beating. Now, that's only one game, really, because Dunaway doesn't have Arkansas past Arizona in that portion of the bracket. So, tough loss for you and I. Do we have the standings? Do we need more time on those? Just somebody tell me. If we need more time, we'll tease ahead to the standings. I didn't know if there was graphical support.
Oh, do you want me? I can put it. How do we want to do it? By record or like the point system? How do you want to do it?
Well, it's all the same. We're doing one.
I mean,
in here we're doing 1 point at a time.
Yeah, record's kind of easy. I think I was 12-4.
Yeah,
record's easy for the first round. The points would start to matter in the next round.
We're doing 1 point a game, so record and points are going to be the same for us. See what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we
but
don't
he's talking
level
about
up to,
what
like,
potential
more points in the
are.
second round.
No. We're doing. We've always decided on this panel for the three of us, if we're going to have to pay a punishment, we don't want somebody to luck into a national champion and get like 500 points. So we've always done 1 game, 1 point. So yeah, you don't have to do the points possible remaining. We're not to that point yet.
Gotcha.
But yeah, if you just want to build a standings with our 1 point per game, back room, y'all are doing 9 beers, 9 hot dogs. You don't play it however you want. You don't do whatever points you want.
No, that works for me.
But here on the desk, we're doing 1 point per game.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Normally in the first round, I think a really good first round is 14-2.
I agree.
I shoot for 13-3, which I should have had if it wasn't for Hubert Davis, and I know he's going to blame it all on Caleb Wilson.
We're about to discuss that.
But I ended up 12-4.
Okay.
I think you guys were
we'll
probably
see,
in the
we'll
12.
see where
First round's not
everybody
over,
else is.
so you just mean your first day?
Yeah, first day. Yeah, first day. We'll see where everybody is momentarily. Lance has already told you he's at 12-4. Is he in the lead? Is he behind?
Yeah, I'll put something together. Should be pretty quick.
We'll find out. All right, JohnstonRVCenter.com. That is where you go when you want to go see American and RV from Johnston RV Center, I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur, and always online at JohnstonRVCenter.com. That is always where you can find them. And at Johnston RV Center, they've always got that lifetime warranty forever. Lifetime warranty on anything that is new or qualifying pre-owned at Johnston RV Center. You can get that at JohnstonRVCenter.com, so you know they stand behind their products. And we want to give a shout out today, the February Salesperson of the Month. He's from the Decatur location. That is our guy, Rusty Ray, right there. He got the belt from Johnston RV Center. He is the salesperson of the month for the month of February. So great job, Rusty. Great job by everybody at Johnston RV Center. I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. Always online at JohnstonRVCenter.com, JohnstonRVCenter.com. You gave us your record. How'd the lock do, though? That's most important.
Yeah, so we were 4-3, but we hit all our big games. We had 2 5-stars. We hit both of those. We had a 7-star last night. We hit that with Texas. So we ended up having a really, really good day overall with our units, but we were 4-3 overall. We've got 7 more plays up and available today, including that Hofstra, Alabama game that we will get to in a little bit. Jump on board with us. We've got that $150 March Madness package to get to you every single game, not only in the NCAA tournament, also in the NIT. Jump on and win with us. It is always brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill Services. Trust the name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for plumbing, heating, cooling issues, home or business. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Hard to stop a train, 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
So the biggest night story, we gave you the biggest day story. That was Wisconsin getting upset by High Point. Definitely the biggest nighttime story was VCU fighting back from 19 down to upset North Carolina 82-78 in overtime. North Carolina is as blue bloods get in college basketball. I mean, there's a handful of blue blood college basketball programs: Duke, North Carolina, Kentucky, Kansas. North Carolina's right in there. They're a blue blood. You can't argue that.
Yeah, just standing up to the test of time. I mean, most Final Fours, most tournament appearances, I think most tournament wins, even with UCLA winning all of those back in the 60s and 70s. I mean, I think North Carolina is the bluest of bloods.
I mean, as blue as it gets, right? So to see them completely melt down the stretch was stunning. I mean, you would think if anybody could handle it, it'd be a North Carolina team. And as soon as VCU started making their run, North Carolina completely melted. They lost all composure. That was just a total meltdown failure on Hubert Davis, North Carolina.
Hubert Davis just looked completely lost. He looked like a dead man in a suit. And I did not understand it when you're up 19, and I do believe in jinxes. And, you know, we've got this little Calcutta draft, and North Carolina was one of my teams that I drafted late, and I felt like they could get a win over VCU. How they completely melted down like that. I understand you don't have your best player, but you were 5-4 without Caleb Wilson. You have a 19-point lead against a mid-major. That's one of those games you've got to hold on to and win. Now you look at North Carolina, and you can't take this away because in year one he did play for a national championship.
That's right, and retired Mike Krzyzewski twice in a row.
But outside,
which was pretty big for him. I mean, to beat Krzyzewski in his final game at Cameron Indoor, and then to beat them in the Final Four to retire him.
But if you go back the last 4 years, he's got 2 tournament wins, and that was in the same year when they went to a Sweet 16. outside of that, I mean, to lose in the first round in back-to-back years as North Carolina is unacceptable.
A lot of people said he would get a pass because of the Caleb Wilson injury.
And I think a lot of people agree with that.
But when you see the way that went down.
Yeah, that was just a horrible look. And then you talked to North Carolina fans before this game. I mean, they were ready for the Hubert Davis era to be over. So I do think that this is going to be an interesting decision. I mean, North Carolina, with what you've got going on with your two moneymakers, Bill Belichick has been a disaster, and Hubert Davis, where it is right now, is not good.
They have always hired from within. I mean, you know, after Dean Smith, you went to Bill Guthridge, who was his longtime assistant. After Bill Guthridge, you went to Roy Williams, who was his assistant. Or no, wait a minute, you went Matt Doherty, who was one of his players. Yep. That was a complete disaster. Guthridge at least took him to the Final Four. Through Birmingham, in fact. You go to Roy Williams, one of Dean Smith's longtime assistants. You go from Roy to Hubert Davis, a North Carolina player. So they've always, since Dean Smith took this job, it's always been an in-house hire, an in-North Carolina family hire. You wonder if that matters anymore to them? I mean, because they've seen it blow up on them so many times, or at least twice with Matt Doherty and Hubert Davis.
I mean, I don't know where that would be that they would go moving forward. But I think there is a fear out there from Alabama fans that this job, if it opens up, Nate Oats would really entertain it.
He's one of my first calls.
Yeah. Oh, I would agree with that.
Yeah, I mean
just
why would
based
you not?
on what he's been able to do from Buffalo to Alabama, the style of play, his ability to recruit. I mean, it would be a perfect marriage there in Chapel Hill.
You think people still call Brad Stevens? Just to see?
You know, it's so different now. Like, and I think Brad Stevens is a great basketball mind. I mean, what he did at Butler was incredible. I mean, you know, never be done again. But I don't know. It seems with the new, you know, era of college athletics and the NIL and the portal, I don't know if he wants to deal with it. He's never dealt with it before. So I don't know. I mean, like right now, if you told me if I'm a Carolina fan, you can have Brad Stevens or Nate Oats. I'm definitely taking Nate Oats.
Yeah, I mean, Brad Stevens is tremendous, but Nate Oats is doing it right now.
And I don't know how many I would have in front of Nate Oats.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, and it's the ultimate compliment to Nate Oats. We're talking about the Carolina job. I'm with you. I don't know in college basketball right now. I look at the landscape and I'm like, what style do I want to play? I want to play that style right there. And do I want to hire somebody that plays that style who's doing it the best? Well, Todd Golden's really good at what he's doing. Could you pry him away from Florida? I mean, the answer becomes like he can do everything at Florida that he could do in North Carolina. Why leave Florida?
Yeah, it just depends where. If you're happy
that's my
where
first
you
call.
are,
That's my first call. Is Todd Golden.
Look, and I think Nate Oats believes now getting to a first ever Final Four that he can win a national championship. We talked about this a couple of days ago.
I think he does.
If you can do it at Alabama, how different would it feel at Alabama than North Carolina? I mean, the expectation in North Carolina now it's getting there at Alabama, but the expectation is, hey, every 3 or 4 years you've got to go to a couple of Final Fours. You got to win us a national championship. Unrealistic in a lot of circles, but I think there were a lot of Alabama fans pulling for North Carolina last night. They didn't want this situation if this job does open up, because I agree with you. I think North Carolina, one of their first calls going outside of the family finally will be to Nate Oats.
So what I do is I take this little thing right here, this little bracket we got. If I'm North Carolina, no, I need to tear it up. Most of the time I do. And I start looking 1 seed Duke. Well, obviously I'm not hiring John Shire. I wish I could get somebody like him, but I'm not hiring him. 1 seed Florida. I am 100% calling Todd Golden. Dude's won a national championship. He's a consistent 1 seed now. Or I think he will be. 100% calling Todd Golden. Arizona. I call Tommy Lloyd.
I think Tommy Lloyd is a hell of a coach, and I think it's one of those guys we really don't talk about enough because he's kind of the anonymous guy, you know. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I don't know if he would entertain. I mean, he might absolutely love it there.
Yeah, 1 seed Michigan. I called Dusty May.
Oh, yeah.
100% I called Dusty May.
I mean, look, he is a Indiana guy, and I think the fear was, you know, one day Indiana, I don't think there's any way he would leave Michigan to go to his alma mater. I do think he would entertain leaving Michigan for North Carolina. But again, you ask Dusty May, I can do everything at Michigan that I can do at North Carolina.
2 seeds. I called Dan Hurley. Why would you not call Dan Hurley? He's at UConn. That's a great job. You know, Jim Calhoun turned that into a type of blue blood team, but you never know, right? Maybe he's beating his head against the wall at UConn over something, and he wants to come coach at North Carolina. I call him. Is the guy a pain? Yeah. Can he flat out coach? Of course he can. 2 seed Houston. Kelvin Sampson's too old for my job.
You're not going to do it. Matt Painter would never leave Purdue.
No, and I don't.
TJ Otzelberger.
That was the other one I was going to get to.
I think Otzelberger Now, the only thing I would say about this, if you go back to Fred Hoiberg, who Nebraska got their first ever NCAA tournament win yesterday, which was pretty amazing. That was the first in their history.
They've been doing this a long time.
But if you asked Hoiberg, biggest career mistake, it's got to be leaving Ames. Has to be.
Yep.
Going to the NBA, making more money, having a more high-profile job, and he had to reset on a lot of levels to get to where he is right now in Nebraska. So, and I think Otzelberger's making like $4 million. I'm going to check it.
At Iowa State? I mean, he's a good coach. The North Carolina job is a big, big job. I don't follow him closely enough. I don't know if he feels like a big job guy.
Very weird. Now, I don't know.
Jacked up, man.
How accurate this is. It said that it's $500,000 a year with additional compensation with the weekly radio shows, speaking engagements, fundraising.
That's how much?
No, and there it is. I saw this February, $4 million a year. So that's right.
I mean, North Carolina laps that. Now,
yeah, they could double that, but I'm just saying, you leave Iowa State, there's some pressure in Ames now as a 2 seed.
Yeah, but nothing.
But it is nothing like that. So you can kind of just blend in, live in Ames, have a really good, solid program, be a top 3 or 4 seed every single year, win 20-plus games. Fan base is going to love you, and you're still making a ton of money.
Yep. So I don't know where they would go. I just gave you a list, and I would put Nate Oats on that list of calls I would make, and I think a lot of them would listen. If, and here's what I never know about this, if their NIT is aligned, or excuse me, their NIL is aligned. If you're at the NIT, you're probably getting fired there. If their NIL is aligned, that's the if I don't know about North Carolina.
I mean, North Carolina's got to be.
Well, you say that, but
I mean,
a lot of programs that should be aren't.
But their endowment is massive.
Yep.
I think all of their alumni, that's what they gravitate to is basketball. That's the pride they take in it. And, I think they look at this right now. This is not good enough. I don't care if we lose our number one player. There should be other 2s and 3s that can come right in and play capable basketball, at least to get us by a VCU. And then you look across, although Duke struggled yesterday, they're still the number 1 overall seed.
Yeah. My very first call, though, is Todd Golden, best youngest coach in basketball. That's the very first one I would make if you move on from Hubert Davis.
And I would call Chris Beard. I know
Well, somebody mentioned that in the chat. I didn't get to it, though. Chris Beard.
Oh, Chris Beard's a hell of a coach. And, it looked weird this year because he's been in Oxford for a few years now, and the product should have been better. They played their best basketball at the end of the year. I don't think he'll have another off year like that, but it is difficult to win at Ole Miss. We know that. Ole Miss is kind of like the Auburn program. I think once he gets it established, it'll roll a little bit. But based on that down year and the unknown when it comes year in, year out to rosters, and I really don't know what the collective at Ole Miss is going to throw into basketball. I know they're super excited about football, and now they really want to prove a point after getting there and now having to do it without Lane Kiffin and doing it with Pete Golding. But I think Chris Beard, I said last year that I don't know if he would leave because I think it's a Bruce Pearl situation where they gave him another chance. But if North Carolina called, I think he would bolt.
Real quick before we go to break, did you know in Alabama the majority of homes use electricity to heat and cool? Because of this, the state of Alabama uses about 30% more power than the national average. Alabama Power has free, easy-to-use tools to help manage and lower your usage and save. They've got Power Usage, My Power Usage, to track your daily energy use, Rate Advisor to help match you with the best rate plan for your lifestyle. There's Bill Explainer to break down the sections of your bill in plain language, and Energy Assistant connecting you with the most savings programs and financial resources when you need it most. In other words, they're helping you save money. Check it all out, alabamapower.com. We end this segment with some sad breaking news, and it's so weird that we just randomly talked about this guy because he's been out of the public eye a little bit, but Chuck Norris has passed away.
Wow.
And we talked about him just the other day.
4 downs last week.
Yeah, 4 downs last week and has unfortunately passed away. Chuck Norris became, and I think, we compared him to somebody better career, and everybody's answer was, and I can't even remember who the other person was, does that guy have an entire line of jokes dedicated to him? No, they do not. Chuck Norris did. It's a crazy career, really. I don't know that you ever consider Chuck Norris a great actor.
No.
But he kind of became an icon because of the line of jokes.
And he had the workout thing, too. It was one of those infomercials that he did for a while.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the guy had really an incredible career, and it was more of there was a book just based on Chuck Norris jokes. I don't know if you remember that, but the age of 86 passes away in Hawaii. I don't know if he was sick at all or, 86, pretty good run.
86. I mean, it's hard to believe he was that old, honestly.
But, I mean, he busted his ass to keep himself in shape. When I saw him a couple of years ago, I mean, he still looked like, he could whip somebody's ass in his 80s.
Yes.
Well, just last week, he posted a video of him kickboxing on his birthday.
I mean, not often you're going to do that at age 88 or 86 or whatever it was.
Guess he was still in good health.
Yeah, most known for Walker, Texas Ranger, and the jokes, obviously. Aside from the jokes, his actual acting career, Walker, Texas Ranger, was a pretty successful TV show, as I remember it. I mean, it wasn't my thing, but I think it was very successful.
My ex-wife used to watch that.
Really?
Yeah, way back in the day. She liked it. I never saw an episode, but Lone Wolf McQuaid is probably my favorite Chuck Norris.
And his appearance in Dodgeball with Vince Vaughn, if you guys remember that.
I don't remember that.
Oh, he shows up at the end as a judge, and he makes his vote against Ben Stiller's team.
Yeah, the chat room full of the Chuck Norris jokes. So you guys paying homage to Chuck with what he's probably most remembered for, the Chuck Norris jokes. So prayers for the Chuck Norris family passing away today down in Hawaii. All right, we got much to get to on the show today. We'll talk some more NCAA tournament. We'll look forward to Bama Hofstra and all the other games today. Bryan Passink will join us, if you're watching us live, in about half an hour to talk about the Bama game from down in Tampa. He'll be with us at 10 o'clock Central Time, so we'll discuss all of that coming up on the next round.
Follow LT on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal made just for you, let our team member Jacob share what's special about Culver's.
In Wisconsin, our food comes from the heart, and taking the time to handcraft your meal with care is how we've always done it at Culver's. It's why your Butterburger doesn't touch the grill until after you order.
Come to Culver's and let us serve you a Butterburger, made special just for you. From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Get all your favorite Next Round gear all in one place, nextround.store. From our Next Round hats to the logo tees to the all-time best-selling Y'all Can Have the Rest shirt, you can look your best by shopping with us at nextround.store. Take the Next Round anywhere with nextround.store. Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000. Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today. Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Ain't no party like a Dega party. The noise, the chaos, the will to survive. The biggest, boldest, brashest, fastest, and most intimidating track in all of NASCAR. Only one place calls that home. At Talladega, anything can happen. And at this super speedway, everything usually does.
Hell yeah, boys!
NASCAR weekend at Talladega Superspeedway, April 24th through the 26th. Get your tickets now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
We continue on the next round, day 2 of the NCAA Tournament. Going to tip off in just a little bit. If you're watching us live or listening live, we're still looking back just momentarily at day number 1. Let's talk about Bucky McMillan. Late night last night, if you were able to stay up for, by the way, the late night game, well, we'll get to it in a moment. Bucky McMillan, 63-50. They beat St. Mary's. This is a game you and I both talked about yesterday. Hey, we're pulling for Bucky. You want to see Bucky win. St. Mary's is a bad matchup for them. I really thought that. And listen, they won that game by 13.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't even close. I mean, it was a situation where the Gales never led the game. And so A&M, they went in loose. They played really, really good defense against kind of an offensively challenged St. Mary's team. But I guess St. Mary's, and this is the reason I kind of like St. Mary's. I thought overall better roster. Randy Bennett is a coach that has a lot of experience in this tournament, and they were getting A&M on the front side. A&M is going to be really difficult for somebody on a turnaround.
On a short rest.
Yeah, I know. Look, I know that this is a situation where, you know, they're playing Houston, so they're playing one of the best teams, and Kelvin Sampson and his staff, they've scouted A&M.
Sure, yeah.
So
You've already got a guy working both of them. Yeah.
They know what's coming, but this is still going to be more of a difficult job or difficult task on the shorter window getting ready for. But, man, St. Mary's looked like they were on that short window. 38% from the field.
According to a lot of people's opinions, mine one of them, Bucky probably should already have an NCAA tournament win over Kansas, but he doesn't because of a poor officiating call. So this was his first NCAA tournament win last night. What did it mean for the Texas A&M coach?
Yeah, I was just curious to see how special that was just as a coach to get your first win, NCAA tournament win with A&M.
Hey, that was great. You know, we want to make all the Aggies proud out there. I mean, you know, I told you I was really disappointed with our, you know, it's hard to beat a team a third time there at this SEC tournament for those that traveled. I felt bad about that. I really did. We've had so many people rally around this group, as you know, just to get here. Like, you know, we had literally no returners on the team, late to everything, and our deal was we wanted to get to the NCAA tournament because I thought we could win in the NCAA tournament, and that's what we want to do. And everyone that came and everyone that watched on TV, you know, we want them wearing that maroon proudly. And win, lose, or draw, we want that, and we want to make sure that continues with the effort and the standard that we're going to play to.
If you know the whole story, it is quite remarkable that they are playing in the second round of the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
I mean, first-year SEC coach. I mean, he's coached at Sanford, but a guy that, I mean, let's be honest about this, Bucky was not choice number 1 for them. They got down the list to take Bucky. Bucky takes the job, gets there. He told us on this show, had no team. They're talking NIL for years to come, and he has to interrupt the meeting and say, with these boosters, say, guys, if I don't get NIL right now, we don't have a team, like a team this year. That has gone from that point to him winning last night in the first round of the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, incredible. And look, he is, and I think we've all agreed for a long time that he's going to do special things. Just watching A&M earlier this year, we thought that they would hit the wall. It looked like they did for a minute, and they've popped out of that, and now they've got an opportunity against 2-seed Houston where they're catching 10.5 points. Now, this is going to be a really difficult game for A&M tomorrow, but hell, who knows at this point? I mean, they're playing with house money. They were playing with house money yesterday.
Yes. Yeah, Bucky's a hero there already.
Yeah.
and another win to the Sweet 16, they may actually rip up year one contract and redo his contract. Good for
well,
Bucky
I mean,
if
if
that
they
happens.
were to be able to get to that point now, Illinois did shoot the lights out last night. But
yeah, I've got a little investment there in Illinois. Hopefully they continue to shoot the lights out, Lance. They did look good against Penn last night.
I laid a big number there.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, we've got to have more entertaining, and I do think we've got the latest game of tonight with Missouri and Miami. But committee's got to do a really good job of trying to pit more like teams on the night cards. I don't know if you would agree with that. Like, I don't know, how does Bill Rafferty stay up this late?
I don't know. I can't. I
can't. I mean, I'm battling, and I'm like,
know.
damn, Bill Rafferty is older than a vampire.
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing the old nod off, you know.
And he's still got his inner onions.
I know. NASCAR coming back to the Talladega Superspeedway, 877-GO-TO-DEGA, TalladegaSuperspeedway.com for the Jack Links 500 weekend, which is coming up April 24th through 26th. The fastest racing in NASCAR is at Talladega Superspeedway, so reserve your spot in the grandstand, the infield, the camping area at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com or by calling 877-GO-TO-DEGA. Also, make sure you've got that garage experience at Talladega Superspeedway. It is the most immersive in NASCAR, the best in the world, and it is going to change the way you view the entire sport. I say this all the time. If you've lived in the state of Alabama for any amount of time and have never been to a race at Talladega, you're cheating yourself. 877-GO-TO-DEGA, TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
And at Dega, are you taking a Toyota?
Well, I would
or
right
are you
now.
taking the field?
I would right now. Toyota's dominating.
Hey, and if you want your own Toyota, I rode in this morning in my Land Cruiser, absolutely loving it. Had an opportunity to see our friend Scott Peoples yesterday. They are the best. They've got incredible inventory, great financing options. Stop in. They're located right there on Highway 150. They've been servicing Birmingham, Alabaster, Vestavia with new and used car financing, auto service, and genuine Toyota parts for over 20 years now. Their inventory out there at Hoover Toyota offers a fantastic selection. Their on-site finance department provides affordable financing options. Even after the keys are right there in your hands, they are there to serve you with the service and parts department committed to keeping your vehicle running smoothly. Stop in, see Scott, Harold, Kim, right there, Highway 150. Tell them the next round sent you. You can also view their inventory and great pricing, HooverToyota.com. If I asked you, older, Bill Rafferty or now the late Chuck Norris?
Norris was 86, you told me?
Yep.
I would say he was older than Raft.
Boy, if you put them side by side, though.
Yeah, Raft looks much older.
Yeah. No, I think Raft has probably hit the Irish whiskey a little bit harder.
Yeah, he's
than Chuck.
I hear he has a good time. I hear he likes the red wine.
Raft will be 83 in the next few weeks.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Still. I mean, I think he still does a really good job.
Yeah, look, and I appreciate the fact that we've got these late night tips. You know, that Gonzaga game, Kennesaw State went off late last night.
And Kennesaw kept it close.
Yeah, but that's what you want. If you're gonna battle to stay awake, you want some interesting games. I think we'll get one tonight with Missouri and Miami.
Arkansas 97-78. This is a hot team coming in, and I don't know how this impacts you. Like, I know how it would impact me because I would be totally watching this. But if you're John Calipari and staff and you sit there and you watch Wisconsin get knocked out, I mean, there's got to be one part of you that's like, oh my, this bracket just opened up for us a little bit. And then the other part of you like, I hope my team is not thinking this way because we'll go out and lose to Hawaii.
Yeah, I don't know if the team really thinks like that. Maybe I'm being naive here. I think more for the coaches, they get excited because, they scout these teams moving forward back to the point we made about Houston and Texas A&M. So I think Arkansas, when they look at this, to me, Wisconsin was a really dangerous team that had beaten 5 top 10 teams this year.
I didn't like that matchup for them.
Yeah,
I had Wisconsin winning it.
I didn't either. So I think Arkansas, looking at both these teams, okay, that's nice. High point with Ben Johnston making those shots. What are the chances this is going to carry over?
Well, that is what Calipari was asked after their 97-78 win over Hawaii.
I've got 3 tapes that I got to watch of High Point. They're good. Wisconsin found out they are good and they're not afraid. I recruited Cam to Kentucky, so I know how good he is. And so they're good. I mean, we're not walking in thinking, okay, this will be an easy one. No, it won't. None of them are easy. And I've been telling these guys, you're going to look and you're worried about someone in front of you, and they get beat. And you're playing somebody else. That's why you don't even need to watch games. You don't need, just stay in the moment. Let's stay in the 5-minute segments. Let's just stay locked in.
That's a guy that has done nothing. I'm going to look.
Well, as you look, this Arkansas team, to me, now I feel bad that I had them getting bounced by Wisconsin.
Well, of course I do now.
Because I think it's going to come down to Arizona, Arkansas in the Sweet 16. The winner of that game will win the West. Now, I still think Arizona's going to win that game. I just don't have a ton of confidence. I know Purdue's coming off a Big Ten championship. But I think Texas is going to make things interesting against Gonzaga. I don't know where you are on that game. The Zags are a 5.5-point favorite. Maybe their wake-up call was against Kennesaw State. But, Texas could throw a wrench into that whole region.
20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25.
By the way, Arkansas scores 97 points yesterday, only hitting 4 3-pointers. So when Arkansas hits double-digit threes, watch out.
Yeah. That is his 25th NCAA tournament appearance last night, which is hard to believe. With Calipari, 25 tournament appearances.
I would say his overall record.
Oh, it's got to be. I don't have it, but it's got to be
20-plus
tremendous.
wins.
Yeah, it's got to be. It may be more than that.
I mean, what am I saying?
Yeah, 25. I mean, he's won the national championship.
Well, I talked about that he had been to the Elite 8 12 or 13 times. So, I mean, that's winning
that's
3
three
games.
wins right there. Yeah. I was just looking at how often
So he probably has 40-plus wins.
How often he gets bounced early. Now, his last 3 years at Kentucky, which is why it ended for him at Kentucky, one and done, out after one win, one and done, his last 3 years at Kentucky. But, boy, prior to that, the guy just, all he does is deep tournament runs.
Do you think Mark Pope has even slept this week? I know we talk about Sean Miller and his lack of sleep going from Dayton all the way to Portland. But, I mean, Pope, with Santa Clara and the way Santa Clara is playing right now, there's no way he can sleep because he knows if he loses this game, not going to get fired.
Wolves at the door, though. Wolves at the door.
Yeah. But, boy, going into next year, a lot of heat.
Speaking of the coach you just mentioned right there, that was a lot of talk about that game last night. Texas, short rest. They had to turn around. Plane wasn't even ready because the NCAA can't get that right ever. They got to play BYU. A.J. DeBonsa, a really good player. All Texas did was go out. And
by the way, DeBonsa, the flop, was one of the more embarrassing flops I've ever seen. and BYU, you spent $6 million on him, and guess what?
You got none out of it.
You got further last year.
And he's going to the NBA. There's no way he's coming back.
Yeah, and I know he said earlier this week, hey, man, I went to BYU. It wasn't about the money. It was about development.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Look, you got $6 million. BYU got absolutely nothing out of that. Richie Saunders doesn't get hurt. Probably a different season for BYU. But still, when you're paying a guy $6 million that's going to be maybe the number 1 overall pick, he should be able to win you a game against an 11 seed.
I agree completely.
Now, it wasn't his fault. His ass was unbelievable yesterday. I thought the flop was embarrassing.
BYU led at 21-20, and it never changed after that. Texas took the lead back over, never looked back. Sean Miller's team had to travel a lot, didn't sleep much, but they went out and got a round 1 win yesterday.
One word I would use to describe our group is resilient. Nothing has ever been easy for us, starting with our opening game against Duke and Charlotte. And from there, we've always fought the fight. I think a number of times throughout the year, it looked like, man, can we do it? But we always seem to be able to respond. And obviously our latest challenge happened by how our season ended. And as we entered this tournament in Dayton, I think all of us up here really came to grips with, let's really go out playing at the highest level we can, sticking together. And I think the last couple of games, from a defensive perspective, is about as good as we've done all year. And when you connect the defense with the offense that we've played, you have a team that's certainly dangerous, and that's what I would call us right now.
I do not need them to beat the Zags, but I'm kind of with you. This team is a team that slopped around a lot in SEC play. They had a disease called fouling, as he reminded us.
It's so good.
One of the greatest sound bites of the year. But, boy, this could be one of those teams. We'll see. But this could be one of those teams that just flips the switch once they get to the postseason.
Yeah.
And you said it yesterday. There's an 11 that comes out of Dayton that makes noise just about every year.
Yeah, the big white, the foreign guy that plays for Texas.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, very, very good. And look, had 16 rebounds and had a late block. But I was shocked Sean Miller still had him in there. He was missing every freaking free throw. He was 3 of 11 from the stripe. Missed 7 consecutive free throws that put him in a situation where BYU, the door was wide open. Texas takes some of the most difficult shots, but they've got a lot of talent, especially when you look at Swain and Mark in that backcourt. But I think this is going to be a challenge for Gonzaga. Again, the Zags are a 5.5-point favorite, but it's going to be a tough game.
Yeah, I mean, Texas, you just wonder if the switch is flipped. We know that guy can coach right there. We didn't talk about it when we discussed this game. The worst free throw of the night was the one the North Carolina guy was trying to miss on purpose. He just rocketed it into the square to the point that I wondered if he even knew you couldn't do that. But I think by his reaction, he did know.
Yeah, but here's the thing. That's on Hubert Davis to me. Because you practice this, and they brought it up on the broadcast. And
you got to hit the side of the rim.
Even if it's a hand signal, you're out of timeouts. You've got a word code, knowing that
you may not even need that because the other team knows you're going to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you guys have practiced. Everybody on that team has practiced whatever your method is to purposely miss a free throw and legally purposely miss a free throw. And it wasn't even close.
I mean, it just slammed off the backboard, and that was the moment you knew it was over then. I mean, now it was going to be a low probability. I mean, you've got to miss. Your team's got to get the rebound.
Didn't help that North Carolina didn't score a point or didn't have a made field goal in the first 4 minutes of overtime.
Yeah. I know that it was a terrible overtime, by the way, for both teams. I know the book says miss there and hope you get the rebound. But if you make and just foul right away, I feel like you've done the same thing.
Well, yeah, and I think you're going to get a much better look in that situation because the clock you're going to burn with a miss.
Yeah.
Whether you get the rebound or they get the rebound. I mean, if you get the rebound, then it was definitely well worth it. But percentage-wise, you're probably not going to get the rebound in that situation. I agree with you. At least you're going to get a look.
Now, the difference being, if you miss and don't get the rebound and foul, you're probably fouling one of their big guys who's not a good free throw shooter. If you make, they're going to be able to try to inbound it to a better free throw shooter. So I get all the strategy there.
But also, if you make, then you're going to get a look with a one-possession game.
Right.
If you miss purposely and foul, and they make both free throws, which they did, then the game's over.
That's right. And I know what the book says to do, but I'm sitting there thinking, first of all, if the guy tries to make it, he's probably going to miss. I mean, I don't think he's a very good free throw shooter. I mean, that was the same guy that had the ball go off his face out of bounds.
The Vesser kid.
Yeah, I mean, I felt bad for the guy. I don't know why he's out handling the ball right there, but ball bounces off his face and goes out of bounds.
Yeah, I mean, he was 5 of 9 from the stripe.
All right, we're going to look at some Calci in just one moment, but a reminder of our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. With all this going on, great time to be sitting on some frozen peas. You need that vasectomy. You could have done it this weekend. It would have been perfect. But when you need that vasectomy, Urology Centers of Alabama, the place to go. UCA, they've got locations all over the place. You can find them all at urologycentersalabama.com, urologycentersalabama.com, 205-930-0920. That's 205-930-0920, urologycentersalabama.com. Everything in the urological tract, not just the vasectomies, but everything. All right, as we go to Calci, let's talk about Alabama tonight. We're going to spend a lot more time on this game. Bryan Passink is going to come up in a moment. We're going to talk about all the SEC games, but this afternoon, Bama plays Hofstra, and you can play it at Calci.
Well, I was still on pace to be a billionaire. TCU wins. Texted out. Hey, still.
Yeah, I was done right there. I was done right there.
Nebraska, 2-0. Louisville, 3-0. And
then it all fell apart.
Then it fell apart. So I will probably never be a billionaire. I wonder how many. Do we have anybody in the chat that was 16-0?
I'll ask. Yeah, chat. Let us know if you're still 16-0 in the Calci bracket. Now
I
you
know
missed your chance to enter, but if you were 16-0 and have entered, great idea.
Yeah, and I'm sure there are people out there that are alive right now with the $1 billion prize for the perfect bracket. 63 games. We're 16 games in, so 16 minus the 63. What are we looking at? 46 games to go, 47 games to go? Yeah, 47 games to go, 9.2 quintillion possible outcomes, one perfect bracket for $1 billion. But guess what? If you're like me and Brown and you've already had your bracket busted as far as the $1 billion, the best bracket, if there are no perfect brackets, top bracket's going to get $1 million. In the event of the tie, they'll split it. $1 million is being donated to charity. Got to be 18 plus, one entry per person. Hopefully everybody got registered on that. but I know you're going to break down a game for us. Very important, code TNR.
Code TNR all the time at Calci. So when you enter, use code TNR. I played some of those trends on Calci yesterday. The early window unders went 2-2. I gave you another trend the other day. All those were winners, by the way.
I got a text from one of our listeners yesterday, and he said, love this Calci shit. Took High Point straight up mid-game and just cashed.
Well, there you go. That's how you
people
do
enjoy being able to jump in at any moment.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw the phones out yesterday at walk-ons, and people just, you can just get on it nonstop.
Hofstra, Alabama today. The Crimson Tide at 85% right now at Calci. You can also look at sports fan mode where you can play Alabama minus 10.5, a total of 157.5, which is a low total for an Alabama game, as we learned yesterday. So you can play all that right there at Calci. You can play the race to 10 points. Who's the first team to get to 10 points? Is it Alabama? Is it Hofstra? You can play that right there at Calci. All of that at Calci.com. We recommend you also download the Calci app. Code TNR when you sign up at Calci. Get $10 on your first $10 position. We're going to talk a lot more about that game, but just quick first blush for the Crimson Tide. At Calci, it's 10.5. Other places, 11.5. You feel like it's a pretty good number on that game?
I think it's a good number. I do have a play on this game. Speedy Claxton's done a really good job. The Pride playing in their first tournament since 2001. They've got a junior guard in Cruz Davis, over 20 points per game. Preston Ed Mead is a freshman guard that probably will get looks in the portal. He's smaller, but the guy can play. He's averaging 16 points, shooting 38% behind the arc. It's a good Hofstra team. We'll see what they're able to do. If you're looking at teams in the field, they did play Penn earlier this year. They wiped Penn by 17. They lost to UCF
Illinois
by 4.
wiped them too.
Yeah, and they beat both Pitt and Syracuse, so they've got some quality wins, although Pitt and Syracuse weren't very good this year. They've won 7 straight. They've won 11 of 12. And the big news is going to be for Alabama, who's going to step up? Is it going to be Reitzel, Houston Millett? Is it going to be a combination? We'll get into that with Brian Passink here in a little bit.
Yeah.
But, the big storyline, the big buzz for Alabama, unfortunately, has been off the court.
That's right. They finally get on the court today, though, so we'll talk more about that with Passink when we come back on the next round. Down to Tampa with Brian Passink as he gets ready for Alabama and Hofstra. As we head to break, remember that Bojangler is back at Bojangles for a limited time right now. Get that Alaskan pollock filet with that Bo's seasoning on it. The deluxe comes with lettuce, pickle, tomato, cheese, and tartar sauce. It's there for a limited time at Bojangles. You can also start your day getting up threes at triple-double biscuit, triple the protein with the bacon, sausage, and egg. Double the cheese on the scratch-made Bojangles biscuit. All their biscuits scratch-made, and you can try any of their breakfast items, including those ham biscuits, 2 for $5 right now with that fresh iced coffee from Bojangles. In the day with the strawberry cobbler as well. Great way to end your day with our friends at Bojangles, where it is always bow time. 5 minutes till Brian Passink in Tampa.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter at Scott Forrester TV.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal made just for you, let our team member Jacob share what's special about Culver's.
In Wisconsin, our food comes from the heart, and taking the time to handcraft your meal with care is how we've always done it at Culver's. It's why your Butterburger doesn't touch the grill until after you order.
Come to Culver's and let us serve you a Butterburger made special just for you. From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the next round, you see all the notes in front of me. from day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
Think about the best summer nights of your life. How many of those were in a great t-shirt? Visit nextround.store to get the perfect t-shirt for the next perfect southern night. Nextround.store. The memories are waiting.
Birmingham's fastest party returns to Barber Motorsports Park March 27th through 29th. Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix, powered by AmFirst Experience. 3 days of high-speed action featuring the fastest drivers in the world from the IndyCar Series. Enjoy the Kids Zone, food trucks, beer garden, fan zone, and more. The Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix. Kids 15 and under get in free. Get your tickets now.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Ain't no party like a Dega party. The noise, the chaos, the will to survive. The biggest, boldest, brashest, fastest, and most intimidating track in all of NASCAR. Only one place calls that home. At Talladega, anything can happen. And at this super speedway, everything usually does.
Hell yeah, boys!
NASCAR weekend at Talladega Superspeedway, April 24th through the 26th. Get your tickets now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, we go to hour number 2, the Next Round. It is day 2 of the NCAA Tournament.
Look
is
at
the way
this
they say
flex.
It.
Do you
Tournament.
see the flex coming up?
Brian Passink has given us a
My
Zoom flex.
gosh.
Passink with palm trees in the background. Now, Passink, it's going to touch 80 here in Birmingham today, so you're not flexing too much.
Yeah, if he would have done this on Monday.
Yeah, Monday, I would not have wanted to do this interview with you.
No, this is for my friends out in Portland. When the selection show, this is how spoiled I've gotten as an Alabama fan. There was a time where you could have sent me to the moon. You could have sent me to Siberia. If our name was called in the NCAA tournament, I would happily go anywhere. When Portland came up, it was the 4-13, and the 4 came up, and I thought it could be us, and I saw Arkansas and not Alabama. I celebrated. I've been to Portland. I'm sure it's a fine city. My experience there was not great. My experiences in Tampa have been outstanding. Very happy to be here in sunny Florida and enjoying my time so far, and it'll be even better if we get a win this afternoon.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about stepping on needles in Tampa or stepping over homeless people, so I get that. Hofstra today, though, the big news, Bryan, and we talked about this, unfortunately for Alabama, has been off the court with Aden Holloway. Right. And now, the lasting impression we've got of Alabama, Reitzel really struggled in that loss to Ole Miss, didn't make a field goal. You assume Reitzel and Millett are going to be the next guys up. I mean, how do you see the minutes and the 17 points, 4 assists that Holloway brought to the table being distributed?
Yeah, it's a tough loss for Alabama from a basketball standpoint. You lose one of the best shooters in college basketball and a guy who's been playing at such a high level. The good news is for this Alabama team is the one thing they have a ton of experience in is a next man up mentality because of all the injuries that they faced this year. I think Houston Millett is the only scholarship player on the team who's been available for every game. So they've dealt with injuries. They've had a bunch of guys out, including Aden Holloway this season. And depth is a strength in the backcourt, and that will be tested here in Tampa. This is a great backcourt in Hofstra. Alabama still with a ton of talent. LeBaron Feilan, one of the best players in the country. He'll obviously be a focal point. But also the guys you mentioned, Latrell Wrightsell, who had been playing his best basketball, and I still think over the course of the last month is playing at a high level. I don't expect for him to have back-to-back games where he struggles. So hopefully he'll play well. Houston Millett is a guy that you love getting more minutes. He is a team-first, high IQ, tough-playing guy that can make a bunch of shots if needed. May need some of those. And Jalil Bethia, who the coaches have raved about his attitude and work ethic despite not playing the minutes that he would like. I think he's going to get more of an opportunity here today. So hopefully these guys can step up and play well in Aden's absence.
Bryan Passink with us from Tampa. Alabama at 2:15 will take on Hofstra in round 2 of the NCAA Tournament. He'll have the game there from Tampa with Chris Stewart and Roger Hoover, Tom Stipe, the entire crew on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. He's with us on the Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys Hotline. You know, I think often we probably misjudge or overvalue the things that affect a college kid's mind. So when I ask this question, the answer might be, I don't think you really had to do much, and I would get that. But what do you think Nate Oats had to do in the locker room? I mean, timing-wise for a suspension like that, this is about as bad a timing as you're going to get. How does that impact a college basketball locker room when one of your star players all of a sudden is unavailable and there's really – you don't know if he's coming back at all?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. And I guess we'll find out the answer. I think, as I mentioned, while this is very different than an injury, they have gone into the locker room. They've gone into the announcements of the starting lineup not knowing really who's available. So they have experience from that standpoint. But because you've got so much depth in the backcourt and you've got competitors, you're in the NCAA tournament, all these guys are so excited to be here. That's one thing that I love about the NCAA tournament. Whether you're a guy from Hofstra who hasn't ever played in the tournament, whether you're someone like LeBaron Feilan who's been to an Elite Eight, Latrell Wrightsell in the press conference, he's been in and played in a Final Four. These guys are like kids excited to play in the greatest sporting event there is, in my opinion, in their opinion. And I don't think motivation is going to be an issue. And hopefully the depth will be there for this team and they come out and play well. The problem, more so than that, is Hofstra is really good. Obviously, Alabama is a better team coming from the SEC, but that doesn't mean in 40 minutes in an NCAA tournament game that they can't beat you. They are built like a team that can upset bigger name schools in the NCAA tournament. They've got great guard play. They've got veterans. They've got size on the inside. They do some things that has hurt Alabama this year. They really attack the offensive glass. That's been an issue for Alabama. So this is a Hofstra team that when I look at the 13 seeds, to me, at least analytically, is by far the best 13 seed. And they're built like a team that you have to take very seriously. Alabama, whether they win the game or not, if they don't win the game, it's not going to be because they don't take Hofstra seriously. They absolutely do. They're just a really good team. So hopefully Alabama will come out and play well. It's the NCAA tournament. I expect them to be dialed in and focused and hopefully play really well today.
Okay, so let me ask you this. We know you love the location of the draw being in Tampa and not being in Portland, but would you switch it now knowing what happened yesterday with Wisconsin losing to High Point and knowing that is Arkansas's path now? Because, look, anything can happen in this tournament. We'll see what happens with Texas Tech playing a red-hot Akron team later on. But we talked about, players and coaches, once they see that other side of the bracket open up with an upset, people get excited about that.
Yeah, can I answer that question either this afternoon?
Yeah, fair enough.
Night?
Yeah, text Lance your answer after the game.
I think Alabama got a really good draw in this first round. I understand Hofstra is a good team, the style, slowing it down. I just think Alabama's in a good spot today personally. I know you don't want to go there right now because I know you're a superstitious guy. But if they do move forward, whether it is, I mean, obviously every game, especially once you get into the second round, is really, really difficult. But Arkansas has got to be excited they are playing High Point.
Yeah, I think so. The watch out on that is you have to make sure you're not a little too excited and feel like you got a path straight to the Sweet 16. And, you know, if Alabama is fortunate enough to beat Hofstra today and you're playing Akron instead of Texas Tech, which, by the way, is a real possibility. That's a really good team out of the MAC. And all of a sudden you think you got it easy. I think you just refer your guys back to facing Ole Miss in the quarterfinals. You feel like maybe you got a break not having to play Georgia or Texas, which you have been better teams over the course of the season. But we found out Ole Miss was playing really good basketball, could have won the SEC tournament. I mean, had Arkansas on the ropes losing in overtime. So you got to be ready to go regardless. You're going to face a really good team in the second round, provided you get there. Got to get there first of all. So that's the main focus for this team. But whether it's Texas Tech or Akron, you're going to have a tough battle in round 2.
Nate Oats could tie Coach Sanderson, could tie Wimp as the winningest NCAA tournament coach in Alabama history if he wins today with win number 12 in the NCAA tournament at Alabama. What about him specifically that you've been around him have you seen? He's really good in this tournament. I mean, Alabama has made deep runs in this tournament. In the last 2 years, Final Four and Elite Eight. Why is he good in the tournament? What does he do that makes him shine in the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, he has been so good. And I think it's a lot of things. I think, number one, he's a great coach. I think he's one of the best coaches in college basketball. But he has supreme confidence in what he's doing. And I'm not talking about arrogance. And I'll go back to the North Carolina game a couple years ago in the Sweet 16. Nate Oats and his staff put in a game plan based on feel and analytics, and they made a decision to basically not guard 2 players. And those 2 guys had career first halves. And I think Bama was down, 10, 11 points at halftime to the number 1 seed North Carolina in L.A. And I knew the game plan going in. And I'm thinking, okay, well, that didn't work. Scrap that and, go with a different plan, because these couple of guys are out of their minds from the three-point line. They haven't made shots all year. From what I hear, Nate Oats walks in the locker room and said, guys, from our expected value over the course of 40 minutes, we're up 9 right now. The plan is working. They're not going to be able to sustain what they're doing. Stick with our plan. This is the right plan. We're going to win the game. And we all know what happened. Alabama was able to come back, beat North Carolina. And I think a coach that didn't have the confidence that Nate Oats has in what he's doing may have switched the game plan there at halftime and may have ended up with an L instead of ultimately getting to the Final Four.
That's a pretty remarkable story, because to date, that was the biggest game he had ever coached in. I mean, you're looking at a chance to beat Clemson then and make it to the Final Four if you can win that game, and to have your plan appear to blow up right in your face, but to say, nope, I don't think they can do it 2 straight halves. That's actually pretty remarkable.
Yeah, it is. And how many coaches would do that?
Yeah.
I don't know many. I mean, and he is great at what he does. I love nothing more than watching a Nate Oats coach practice. It's awesome to see the way he does things, the attention to detail, the thought on all the little things that he does, and the belief in what he's doing. And to see that over the course of a game, and a big game like that where the world is watching, all the pressure in the world is on you, and you don't even flinch, don't hesitate. This is working. We're going to win this game, and here's how we're going to do it. It is just really amazing, and it's why he's one of the best coaches in college basketball.
Give us a non-starter, a role player that if it all comes together over the next couple of weeks, Alabama could go on a special role because they are producing.
Yeah, I think there are several guys that can step up. I think Amari Allen has to play well. He didn't play his best last few games of the season. He's obviously an important player on this team, especially with Aden Holloway out. But I think Alabama can make a serious run if Taylor Bowen plays the way he did early in the season before he got hurt. He's as healthy as he's been all season long. He was a difference maker big time at Madison Square Garden against a top 5 team in St. John's. And he was terrific on both ends of the floor, making shots, blocking shots, getting rebounds, and has the versatility at the power forward to stretch the defense on the offensive end, and is a rim protector along with Aden Sherrill on the defensive end. So he hasn't had the year that he would like, but I think he's a guy that is a huge key for Alabama making a run.
All right, Passink is not going to move the camera because Chris Stewart is in a Speedo just to his right getting some rays before they head over to the arena. So we appreciate your discretion in not moving the camera, Passink. Nobody wants to see that.
I just want to keep it professional.
Yeah,
for you
keep
guys.
it PG. It's a PG family show here. All right, Bryan, Chris Stewart, Tom Stipe, Roger Hoover, the entire crew on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. A little bit later on today from Tampa as Bama plays Hofstra in round 1. Bryan, thank you very much for the time. Safe travels and enjoy the games.
Always enjoy it, guys.
All right, buddy. Take care. Bryan Passink with us on the Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys Hotline from down in Tampa, where Alabama will take on Hofstra in that round 1 matchup. The Crimson Tide, 10.5, 11.5 point favorites down there.
If Alabama does survive and advance out of this weekend, do you think a lot of Alabama fans will travel to Chicago? They're direct flights. It's a great town. Problem is you draw a number 1 seed with that first game. But if you just like a good getaway.
I mean, it's an easy trip.
Yeah.
You're right. What's an hour, 45-minute flight? It's not a bad flight. I've made that flight several times. Not a bad flight at all.
Now, Chicago's got tricky weather in March and April.
It does. You never know.
You could be flying into a blizzard. But, yeah, it's a great town.
Yeah, I love Chicago. Speaking of Alexander Shinara, by the way, our Shinara showdown last night, I'll ask you this. The back room knows the answer because I gave it to them early. Our game last night in the Shinara showdown was Georgia-St. Louis. St. Louis ran Georgia out of the gym.
That was the most embarrassing performance of anyone. Even Wisconsin.
At least it was a close loss.
Yeah, I mean, look, Wisconsin played pretty good basketball. It's just High Point played a little bit better yesterday, but Georgia did not even show up. That was a complete embarrassment.
Yeah, ran them out of the gym. What percentage of our entrants in the Shinara Showdown had St. Louis, do you think?
Well, so how many did we have?
I don't know the total number, but I can give you the percentage. It was a big number, though.
Percentage that had St. Louis, I will go...
It was around 300 entries.
Okay, the 300, I'll be specific here. I will say 41 had St. Louis.
31%. So,
okay.
Yeah, you're a little more than you even gave credit. You thought Georgia would be heavy, huh? Our Shinara Showdown is back tonight. We are back in the SEC and back with a late game. We're going to try to give you as late a tips as possible. Missouri, Miami, you have mentioned this, Lance, as being an entertaining game tonight. Maybe the most of the night.
I've got a 7-star on this game, my friend.
All right.
Had that on Texas last night, but I do have the Missouri-Miami game. It is a 7-star. It's our biggest play of the day, and it's the late game.
It is. Last I saw, Miami favored by 1.5. Is that about where it's hovering? So 1.5. Now, here's how the Shinara Showdown works. Brooks will send this out every game day throughout the brackets on our social media, but you can always go to nextroundlive.com. It's right there at the top. You cannot miss it. Nextroundlive.com. You pick either Miami minus the 1.5, Missouri plus the 1.5, whatever the point spread is right there. You're playing this against point spread. And we've got great prizes from our guy Alexander Shinara for our overall winner. And in any game you get right, you're in the drawing. So if you get them all right, you got a bunch of buckets in the balls in the bucket, as we say.
And we've got 4 winners. Somebody's going to win a bottle of Pappy. Somebody's going to win $1,000. Somebody's going to win $500. Somebody's going to win $250. So it's not just one winner. We've got 4 different winners from our friends at Shinara.
Shinara, Alexander Shinara, Trial Attorneys. Link, by the way, in the chat. Brooks just threw it in there if you want to jump on the chat and see it. Alexander Shinara, Trial Attorneys. You don't pay a dime unless they win your case. Shinara.com, not just personal injury cases, fire and storm damage, bad drug and device cases, employment cases, workers' compensation. They've got all that with Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys. Shinara.com. Shinara.com. You don't pay a dime unless they win your case and participate in the Shinara Showdown throughout the tournament. Also, our friends at Crane U.
Get the Crane training you need today. If you're looking for that new career, need further training to advance your current one, our friends at Crane U offer the comprehensive state-of-the-art, fully stocked training facilities for mobile cranes, overhead lifts, forklift training. If you want to use your own equipment, the team at Crane U will come to you. On-site, on-location training offered nationwide. Make the job easier, job site safer. Crane U also offers certification, safety inspections to ensure the safest environment possible. Call 855-CRANE-U when you talk to Nicole or Francis. Make sure you mention the next round, 10% off all the great services. Classes available monthly, so call or visit our friends at Crane U for more information. CraneU.com.
When you ask about Bama fans going to Chicago, I almost said, there's a chance that Alabama could be back whole by then with Aden Holloway back. I don't think that's off the table. Nate Oats was asked specifically about that yesterday in the media availability as his team arrived in Tampa.
You addressed the Aden situation on the radio, but if he goes back next week and gets his student conduct appeal won, is there a chance we see him later in the tournament?
You know what? I'm not sure where that's all going to go, and we'll kind of address things as they come up. But for right now, the team's just preparing to play with who's at practice, and he's obviously not there. So we'll prepare to play without him and address that matter if it comes up.
That's clearly not a no, so yes is a possibility. I would think, just my gut, and based on Nate's history, if he gets cleared by the student body there, or the student government, whatever that is, the council, and everything is headed in the right direction legally or whatever, I think he'll play if they advance.
I agree with you. I think if it comes down and it's a Nate decision, I think Aden Holloway will be on the court in Chicago if they make it out of this weekend.
I think that's the best way of putting it. If everything that needs to happen happens, to put it in Nate Oats' hands. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
I guess, if he's obviously not cleared as a student, if he's suspended, then it's not in Nate's hands. If for whatever reason, and you had a little more detail on this about, a guy that is facing those kind of charges is not allowed to leave the state of Alabama without the special exemption. If he's given one of those.
You got to be.
I would think so.
Yeah. So what Lance is talking about is when you're released on bond in the state of Alabama, I don't know that this is universal, so I'm not saying this is universal, but I think it is, but you're not allowed to leave the state without permission from the court because you could be a flight risk.
But,
right?
Just assume that, I know spring break is this week in Tuscaloosa, but if it was next week and you had a student that just a normal student, a biology major, that gets busted with 2 pounds of weed. Sounds weird to say. And he wants to go back for spring break to visit his family in Chicago. There's a good chance he is getting that exemption or whatever that waiver is.
Yeah, from what I'm told, the Tuscaloosa courts, like any college town, are pretty lenient with it because of that situation. They've got kids that make bad decisions. They've got legal issues facing them. They've had to bond out, but Thanksgiving's coming up. So they got to go back to, Des Moines, Iowa to see their family. So I think there is some leniency there. Aden Holloway would be the exact opposite of a flight risk. Like, why would you not allow him to leave the state, right?
Yeah, you know exactly where he is at all times.
Yeah, he's going to be on national television.
Yeah.
He is the exact opposite of a flight risk. So I don't see how that could not be taken care of. So I would imagine if it gets to that point,
by the way, if he's allowed to go and he disappears to another country and we never see Aden Holloway again, that would be the most sensational story we've ever seen in the history of sports.
What a 30 for 30, right?
Yeah.
So Nate Oats also has had conversations with Aden Holloway, and he goes, it's a touch long here, but this is Nate Oats talking about what he told Alabama's point guard after the arrest and all those things. His first conversations with Aden Holloway went this way.
Yeah, I've met with him in person, talked to him on the phone multiple times. Look, I'm an adult. I've made mistakes. We all have things we'd like to do differently. Now's not the time to ignore a kid that you've built a real relationship with. Now's the time he needs more love from the adults in his life than at any point. So when I got into coaching, way back when I first got out of college, and I was a Division III assistant making no money, and then I went to a high school job in Detroit area for 11 years. I really, to basically coach for no money for 16 years, you better be doing it for the right reasons, because you're losing an awful lot of money, spending all the hours, time traveling with kids to official visits. So I got to remind myself, I'm a high school coach that's caught some breaks up here, but I don't want to lose why I got into this thing in the first place. So you get into it to help impact young men's lives. Well, if you disappear when they make a mistake, not so sure that's a genuine relationship you built. So I've got 3 daughters. They've made mistakes. You don't disappear on them when they need your help. So I won't be disappearing on them. I talked to them yesterday morning on the phone. I talked to them the night before that. I've talked to them every day so far. So I'm going to continue to talk to them, love him, help him through this, and we'll see where it all takes us.
Yeah. I had another couple of discussions in detail about this situation, and I still don't understand it yesterday. Like, none of this makes sense. Because if it's for personal consumption, I don't know why you've got 2+ pounds. I don't know why you've got it spread all over the apartment, kind of in hidden places.
I would just say, I think once, and I don't know what's going to happen here. I don't know how this legal system is going to play out, but I do think once all the facts are presented, I think it will be fairly widely accepted this was not a distribution situation. A large scale, let me just say it that way,
Okay.
A large-scale distribution situation.
But
Emphasis,
again,
emphasis on scale.
personal consumption, like you can't smoke that much. Like it's not going to stay good enough to smoke that
But
much.
you and your friends can.
Yeah. But at the same time, there's no way that it makes no financial sense if you're making mid to high 6 figures, which we all assume he is, to be selling dime bags to students.
Well,
it just makes
it
that
really
makes
doesn't.
no sense.
You said that from the jump. You're like that. This doesn't have enough street value to even get his attention.
And back to your point, like I remember seeing different shows with Snoop Dogg on, and you would walk in and he had this like weed. It was almost like candy dishes just all over, and he entertained a lot. And maybe there's a bunch of weed parties going on at Aden Holloway's. I mean, not saying that right or wrong, you make that decision. I mean, obviously it's against the law, and he's not playing this weekend because of that. But I find it hard to believe that he had some kind of criminal organization.
Was it Keith Richards that got popped for buying heroin in Canada, and it was a large portion of it, and because it was such a large portion, they were going to insinuate that he was dealing.
Well,
and he's like, dude,
I'll take another example.
He goes, dude, I'm just rich, and I found good heroin. I'm going to buy it in bulk because I'm rich. I mean, that was his defense.
Yeah, I do kind of remember that, but I was on the next reel. We were talking about things we watched, and I think it was a couple of weeks ago. I watched a documentary on Bob Probert. I don't know if you remember who Bob Probert is.
That name rings a bell. Who's Bob Probert?
So Bob Probert was one of the best he was one of the biggest goons in
that's right.
in hockey history with the Detroit Red Wings, but he also could play. But the documentary is called Tough Guy, the Bob Probert Story. And it's well worth the watch. But, he got busted because he was from Windsor, and you got that bridge that goes from Windsor, Canada to Detroit.
Right.
And he was coming back one night, and he gets pulled over, and he's got a bunch of cocaine on him. He had enough that it was intent to distribute, and people got, they misconstrued that this guy was out dealing coke. He just had a lot because him and his friends were doing it.
Again,
and he could afford it.
It was the Keith Richards defense. Like, I'm rich, and if I find what I like, I'm going to buy it. I'm not distributing it. I'm just buying as much of it as I'm going to use at some point, and this is good stuff. So we will see how that goes out. I think you can listen to Nate Oats, though, and know the door is absolutely not closed on Aden Holloway playing in this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been easy if Nate Oats, and again, you want to get all the facts, and you don't want to – I mean, this is all about – future recruits too. How do guys handle
100%.
situations like this? But the last thing, I mean, if Nate Oats just wanted to say, hey, look, Aden Holloway, it's about him getting well. It's about him doing the right thing. He will not be with this team. We're about getting him right. We are going to support him, but he will not be playing basketball the rest of this year in this tournament. That would be an easy statement.
Oh, yeah, 100%. If that's the decision you've made. Yeah, you could have said that yesterday, and then you don't get asked about it again.
But I think if you're Nate Oats, look, you can make that decision, but I think the fair thing to do is probably see how this plays out. I know there's probably a lot of people that disagree with me. I don't know how you are on this, but I let it play out. And again, if it comes back and I get to make the decision, then I make that decision.
Yeah.
But until that point, I leave everything open because, there might be some circumstances we don't know about. Again, not playing naive, not playing stupid here. It was 2+ pounds of weed, but I think he's handling it the right way up until this point.
All right, we're about to get to the viewing menu. Before we do that, a reminder, win or lose tonight, Culver's great place to go to either celebrate your bracket wins or just forget those bracket losses. You could start with that juicy butter burger right there at Culver's. It is a fantastic way to start any meal. Those crispy crinkle-cut fries are great with it. Those gooey golden cheese curds, you want those too, trust me. And then cap it off with that great frozen custard. The creamy frozen custard right there at Culver's. Culver's, welcome to Delicious. 2 great locations, Tattersall Park and Birmingham Highway 280 location. And also out at the Hoover Met area in Stadium Trace. 2 great Birmingham locations of Culver's. Welcome to Delicious. Time for the viewing menu presented by Michelson.
Yeah, Michelson Laser Vision, best in the business. Dr. Mort Michelson, the first to perform the laser procedure in the state of Alabama back in 1995. I got the procedure done in 2003. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best out there. Make the phone call that I made. Ask for Amy Toa, the next round sent you. 205-969-8100. For more information, michelsonlaservision.com.
So the biggest release of the day isn't in theaters. It's actually on Netflix, and that's Peaky Blinders, The Immortal Man. Amid the chaos of World War II, Tommy Shelby returns from a self-imposed exile to face his most destructive reckoning yet. With the future of his family and country at stake, Shelby must face his demons and choose whether to confront his legacy or burn it into the ground.
I don't know how much of the original cast is in this, which will probably impact how much I like it.
I'll tell you, I mean, the critics are behind it. I mean, you know, Stephen Knight, the guy that created the series, and I think a good majority is. Like, I don't know who all got killed off.
Well, I do, and I don't want to ruin that for anyone.
Please don't. I'm still in season 1.
No. But, I mean, specifically Arthur, the brother.
Yeah, I know he's not returning.
Yeah, I knew that, and that's a big loss. He is a fantastic character.
He's the guy that goes off the rails, right?
Yeah, well, constantly. Yeah. Off the rails, back on, off, back on. I mean, that's the whole series for Arthur.
Not afraid to beat somebody to death with his hands?
Not at all. I mean, Arthur was a terrific character, so that is a huge loss for it. Polly died, not in the show, but she actually physically passed away. She was married to...
big actor.
Who is it? Hang on.
Not Stephen Graham.
No, the guy that played in Band of Brothers. Why can I not say his name? Band of Brothers.
Damian Lewis.
Yeah. That was his wife. She passed away. So obviously. But I don't know who all from the original cast is in there.
I do not either, because I'm still learning everybody.
Yeah.
But,
it's a good cast.
I'm really enjoying Peaky Blinders so far.
I can't remember what season he shows up. Has Tom Hardy showed up?
No, he hasn't. I didn't even know Tom Hardy was in the show. I've got so much to look forward to.
You didn't know he was in?
No, I didn't. I saw like 2 or 3 episodes of the show like back in high school, and then didn't pick it back up until recently.
Tom Hardy plays he's played some over-the-top characters, but his character in this one is over the top, but it's a good character.
Yeah, so I was still watching when he came into it. Stephen Graham. Tim Roth, though. Was Tim Roth a part of the series? I know he's actually in the movie. So I'm just wondering if he was part of the series. Very good actor.
Yeah.
So anyway, the reviews are really good on it. I don't know whether or not I'll watch it because I didn't finish the series.
Well, we've also got another a documentary on Netflix, The Rise of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Our Brother Hillel, that explores the formative years of the Chili Peppers and the profound influence of the original guitarist Hillel Slovak in this documentary. So if you're a big Chili Peppers fan, then you can relive some of that.
I like them.
I'm not a huge fan, to be honest with you, but I'm sure that's a good documentary.
I bet they put on a good show. I've never seen them in concert. Would kind of like to see them.
Yeah, that'd be a fun concert to go to. Next up, this is a very low-profile release with a funny name. But if you're looking for a family movie to go see this weekend, The Pout Pout Fish is now in theaters.
Okay.
It's an animated adventure following Mr. Fish, voiced by Nick Offerman, a grumpy recluse whose home is accidentally destroyed after a run-in with Pip, an energetic sea dragon. They journey to find a mythical fish named Shimmer to fix their homes, learning lessons about friendship and helping others. So, yeah, if you just want to take your kids to a movie this weekend, you got an option there. And then finally, on Prime Rental, and it's also available for free with ads on YouTube, is The Way of the Dragon, if you want to pay some respects to Chuck Norris today. It centers around a country bumpkin martial artist, played by Bruce Lee, visiting his relatives in Rome, where he must defend them and their restaurant against harassment from brutal gangsters. And the notable thing about this movie is It's the only film where Bruce Lee lost a fight on screen, and it was to Chuck Norris.
Oh, of course it was. Yes, that's the way it should.
He got his revenge, I think, in what was the movie with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar?
Airplane.
No. It was a Bruce Lee movie, but I think he fights Chuck Norris again and actually defeats him.
Was it The Big Boss?
No.
Okay.
That is the viewing menu presented by Michelson Laser Vision.
Enter the Dragon.
4 downs. Was that it?
No,
4 downs and much more on the NCAA tournament when we return on the next round.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services speaking form is greater than those of other lawyers.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal made just for you, let our team member Jacob share what's special about Culver's.
In Wisconsin, our food comes from the heart, and taking the time to handcraft your meal with care is how we've always done it at Culver's. It's why your Butterburger doesn't touch the grill until after you order.
Come to Culver's and let us serve you a Butterburger made special just for you. From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Get all your favorite Next Round gear all in one place. NextRound.store. From our Next Round hats to the logo tees to the all-time best-selling Y'all Can Have the Rest shirt. You can look your best by shopping with us at NextRound.store. Take the next round anywhere with NextRound.store.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Looking for the ultimate weekend in Birmingham? The Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix is back at Barber Motorsports Park, March 27th through 29th, bringing big energy, big crowds, and unforgettable moments. It's more than a race. It's a full day of excitement, family fun, food, music, and world-class competition, all set on one of the most beautiful venues in racing. The Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix at Barber Motorsports Park. Get your tickets now.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Ain't no party like a Dega party. The noise, the chaos, the will to survive. The biggest, boldest, brashest, fastest, and most intimidating track in all of NASCAR. Only one place calls that home. At Talladega, anything can happen. And at this super speedway, everything usually does.
Hell yeah, boys!
NASCAR weekend at Talladega Superspeedway, April 24th through the 26th. Get your tickets now at TalladagaSuperspeedway.com.
Scott Cross, the Troy coach, they got run yesterday pretty bad by Nebraska.
They did. I think Nebraska had a point to prove.
It does appear they got their first NCAA tournament win ever. There's video floating around. Apparently, the old boy that does radio for them has been doing it a long time and has suffered through a lot of bad Nebraska basketball. So they videoed him counting the clock down for their first tournament win. If you want to go track that down on social media,
Yeah,
pretty cool.
It's really cool. And, you know, moving forward, I mean, Nebraska, they're a 2.5-point underdog to Vanderbilt. That'll be a hell of a game.
Oh, yeah, I think so. Tremendous matchup there. Vandy, a nice win yesterday over McNeese, who was, you know, one of those sexy upsets and did not happen, 12-5. But Scott Cross, in the heels of getting drubbed in that game, less than 24 hours later, is now the Georgia Tech head coach. I don't know how you feel about that move for him. He's been at it a long time, Scott Cross. Has UT Arlington and then was at Troy. I think that was 6 years for him at Troy. So I don't know how you feel about the Georgia Tech job, but the Troy coach has taken it, Scott Cross. I'm about to tell you something.
But Brent Key had some success this year. There was a point where we were like, damn, Georgia Tech might get into the college football playoff back in late October.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you can do it in football, to me, I know historically it's more of a football school, but me growing up, it was more of a basketball
Bobby
school.
Crimmins. We grew up with Bobby Crimmins, and
those were really, really good teams.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good move.
Okay. What do you think? Well, that's going to be hard. There's so many basketball jobs. I'm not going to ask the question that way. What do you think he's making?
At Tech?
Yeah, Jeff Goodman has reported what sources tell him Scott Cross will make at Georgia Tech.
I would say that he is making 2.5.
2. So you went lower than I thought you were going to go. According to Goodman, $2 million a year, and the school has guaranteed a heavy NIL play.
Well,
so basically, Cross is taking less money for more NIL.
And that's what I was about to say. So maybe he could have gotten more money, but maybe the wise thing to do is look. I'm very content. Maybe he's not a big spender. And he's like $2 million in Atlanta. I'm going to live a good life.
Make that stretch in Atlanta, $2 million.
Yeah.
Live up in Buckhead or Vinings or somewhere like that.
Well, think about it like this: $2 million in Atlanta is what, 1.25 or 1.5 here?
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, cost of living is not crazy in Atlanta.
I mean, I probably know a couple of people that make that in Birmingham, and they live large.
Yeah.
So, I think if Cross really wants to build this and get it to another level, this is probably the right way to go about it. Now, I'm trying to just pull this quickly. Georgia Tech, the last time, let's see here. Last time they had the deep run was 2004.
Jack was his last name, wasn't it? Yeah,
Jason Jack.
No, Jason Jack's the doctor.
Yeah.
Lance, I'm actually doing a longest round of 64 wins drought for the high majors right now. Georgia Tech has not won a round of 64 game in 16 years.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at this. Yeah, so they're
not even close to the longest, though.
Well, Brooks, they've only had one tournament appearance since that 2010 when they won a game, and that was in 2021. So it is completely – I didn't realize – they have not been to a Sweet 16 in over 20 years. 2004, when they were the runner-up, was the last time.
Far from a blue blood growing up, but a solid ACC program growing up when you and I were growing up. I mean, the ACC, when you and I were growing up, Krzyzewski was just getting Duke started. North Carolina was the power in the ACC.
Jarrett Jack,
yeah. North Carolina was the power in the ACC. Maryland was okay. Virginia was okay. They were better than okay. Virginia was good. Yeah, Georgia Tech was right in there. I mean, that was a solid ACC program.
But since Bobby Crimmins, you had Paul Hewitt. And Paul Hewitt, I didn't realize he was hired away from Siena College. But from Paul Hewitt, Brian Gregory, nothing. Josh Pastner, nothing.
Terrible hire.
Damon Stoudemire, nothing.
Yep.
So the expectation's not big. So if you're Cross, I think you got to kind of take this job.
I guess. I mean, $2 million is not a ton this day and age, but I think he is smart to say that's more than I was making at Troy.
Well, and you're not going to be able to keep good players at Troy. Impossible.
Yeah.
If you've got an NIL behind you, you can actually get good players and keep good players to a point at Georgia Tech.
There has been another hiring today. I think it was Pete Thamel that said sources told him this would not be the last hire today, Scott Cross. It's an interesting hire I'll discuss in a moment. First, Greg from Pell City is the guy that will get up on that roof and tell you if you need some help there. Greg from Pell City, The company, though, is Storm Restoration Roofing. Unfortunately, storms come through all the time this time of year. Perhaps you've had roof damage. If not, it could come at any time. When that happens, don't trust the door knockers. Trust Greg from Pell City. You give him a call. You can find him, Greg from Pell City, on Facebook, or just call him here, 205-542-3531. That's 205-542-3531. His name is Greg Nelson. Greg from Pell City, Storm Restoration Roofing. Let Greg get up on that roof and tell you if you need help. Also, one man in a toolbox.
Yeah, if you've got a project at your house or business you need help with, our friend Jay and his crew, they can do it. They've come out to my house for multiple projects. Just at our bourbon room, one man in the toolbox performs the handyman services for homes, commercial properties in Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Montgomery, and surrounding areas. They do the regular repairs and maintenance, also small project renovations and updates. They've got multiple technicians with different skill sets. They can tackle most any item in your home. Call for the free estimates, 205-823-2111. When you call that number, whether you talk to Jessica or Jay, make sure you tell them the next round sent you. They're going to give you a $25 discount for the first hour of service. For more information on all they do there, go to onemanandatoolbox.com.
So Scott Cross, and I mentioned that Goodman and Pete Thamel are saying that there could be quick announcements today. One announcement that, not really an announcement, but a I don't know how to word this. I guess a fake announcement. Hang on, I'm trying to find the tweet. There was a report that Bryan Hodgson had taken the Providence job, and I was trying to find the tweet. There was one from about a month ago that Bryan Hodgson actually responded to someone saying he was taking a job during the season on Twitter. And I was going to bring that up to see, it is not a legitimate news account that is reporting this. I was going to see if he actually would respond to this today, because his name is the hottest name out there, and he has yet to respond to it. I was trying to find it before you finished your live read there. Hodgson's name is out there. There was a report he had taken the Providence job, which is not verified, by the way, but he has yet to respond to it. I was quickly trying to track down his actual Twitter account, because this is a guy that has been active in responding to coaching rumors. You don't see a lot of guys do that.
Well, I think South Florida, you already lose an Alex Golish, and you're doing your best to retain Hodgson. And I know that they're putting together, at least the reports were, very lucrative package to be able to keep him, knowing there's other suitors out there. I will tell you, he did an amazing job with the backdoor cover yesterday.
Oh, it really was. They made that look like a tight game. Yeah, it really was not.
They were down 23. They were really down 15, it seemed like, the whole game. And then they come back, and they got the closest they have been since the opening minutes of tip, and they cut it to 4, and that was your final margin. And that number went off between 4.5 and 5.5. You got it early in the week. When the news was Brown might play, it was 5.5, but it dipped down to 4.5. And if you had Louisville minus 4.5 yesterday, that was a tough loss.
It really was. I think at Calshi, the game total was 162.5. And I believe it hit at 162, did it not?
It hit 162.
Yeah, I believe 162.5 was the total, and it looked like a pretty easy under until South Florida started, closing in.
But I'll say this, if you had South Florida, it had to be frustrating too, because they throw up 33 threes and they hit 5.
Yeah.
5 of 33 to miss that many threes. And Wes Ennis, who has been so good this year, 0 of 11 behind the arc. I can't remember. I remember, was it Robert Vaden? Was that the kid that played at UAB? Help me out, somebody.
Yeah, Robert Vaden.
I remember one time, I think he, against Memphis, maybe went 0 for 10 or 0 for 11, but you just don't see that.
Speaking of a kid that played at UAB, Tyler, cut 12. Mark Pope yesterday asked about the report that Yaxel Lendeborg was in a bidding war that included Kentucky, and it got up to $7 to $9 million. That report came from Yaxel Lendeborg. So Mark Pope, then, he's on the podium because of their media availability in the NCAA tournament.
I don't believe that number.
Yak said it.
Yeah.
Pope could have easily said it didn't happen. Scott, how long did Pope answer this question?
So there's a question, and then there's a follow-up to that question. Total about 4 minutes.
Okay.
I chopped that in half.
Scott
for the show here.
Scott has given us what is, by his standards, a very long soundbite, but it's only half of what Pope actually said.
And by the way,
there are a lot of words.
Yeah, a lot of words here. Are any of them, yes, we made that offer, or no, we did not make that offer? You be the judge. Here's Mark Pope.
Did Kentucky offer any individual player $7 to $9 million?
So I assume I'm allowed to answer this question, yes?
Please
well,
say no.
All the media
Please
people are
say no.
saying yes. So I can tell you this. It is, and I've been in this business for a long time, but at Kentucky it's just different. It's just different. The amount of information that is, and I think part of the problem too is that I'm gonna get myself in trouble, but whatever. This is how we live. I think part of the reason is there's been such blurred lines between all media. I don't think anybody differentiates between social media with someone in their underwear in their basement that has nothing to do versus the most noted journalist in the world with unbelievable ethics. To BBN, I would just say, please don't believe anything you read about anything, because if I was going to tell you the percent of stuff that was actually reported accurately, it'd probably be in the 5 percentile. It's just an interesting time in the world. There's craziness swirling around, but that's the circus that comes with Kentucky. That's all part of what makes Kentucky so great. What makes it different than everyone else is that if anybody wants clicks, they could just say any crazy thing or write any crazy thing or click anything crazy thing about Kentucky, and they're going to get clicks and they're going to get likes and they're going to get controversy. And there's nobody more surprised about what the head coach of Kentucky has done than the head coach of Kentucky. I'm shocked by it every single day.
Just to circle back here, I think you kind of hinted at it, but just to clarify, would you say that was an inaccurate depiction of the numbers 7 and 9?
I know that you guys have to come out of here with a headline, and I'm not going to give it to you.
I mean,
oh my gosh! So
that was only half of it.
And later in our story,
I
mean,
know.
we keep getting the clips. I'm waiting for the next clip where the entire press room, everybody's taking a nap, passed out.
I love the fact that the guy was like, just to circle back, did you actually make the offer?
He's talking about the ultimate filler buster right there. I mean, answer the question. And by the way, I think he did answer the question, because wouldn't you just say no?
Yeah, no, we did not offer that at all.
Because my fear would be moving forward, as good as Yax is, and not to take anything away, and that is an unbelievable number. I don't believe it, but I don't know why he wouldn't have said no. But moving forward, if you're another player and you're elite and you hear this, well, why are you not offering me $7 million?
My favorite part of the whole answer is the fact that he starts talking about all these reports from somebody in their mom's basement in their underwear. The story was Yaxel Lendeborg literally saying it to the Associated Press. This is not like collegebasketball.net. It's the Associated Press, and the source is Yaxel Lendeborg.
And as long as I never had anything documented on paper, if it was a verbal offer, if it ever did, first of all, if it wasn't true, easy just to say no. If it was just a verbal, I still would have said no, that is not accurate. Because again, I think moving forward, first of all, it's an outlandish number. But anybody that comes to Kentucky that's elite, they're going to want that number.
I agree, 100%.
And for him, by the way, saying it's just different at Kentucky.
What did that even mean? I mean, you could tell right away. Well, first of all, he looks in the back of the room. Can I actually answer this question? Praying that whoever he's asking that to is like, no, we cannot discuss that. He's like, guys, I'd love to tell you, but I'm
not going to let you leave with a headline.
School told me I couldn't answer. Well, as they say in the chat, Charles says him not answering actually became the headline.
Oh, yeah.
They left with a headline. It was you not answering the question.
I mean, I'm going again. I can't get myself to the point that $7 to $9 million was offered.
Yax is a heck of a player, but boy, that's a lot of money. Devon said you got $5 million, and as we pointed out, you got nothing out of it. Didn't win a conference tournament, or didn't win a conference tournament, didn't win an NCAA tournament game.
Well, I mean, there's a good chance Kentucky, we'll see what they do against Santa Clara. I ended up staying away from that game. I think I got
in my bracket.
We've all got Santa Clara beating Kentucky.
I think that's right.
But I'll tell you, man, that's a dangerous game for Mark Pope, and if he loses that game,
We'll run through the SEC games in 1 second.
Back to Devonta getting $6 million.
I know.
This roster, what is it? Was it 20 plus million?
22, that's the rumor, yeah.
And if you don't win a game against a Santa Clara, my gosh.
Yeah, we're going to hit the SEC games real quick in just 1 second. A reminder, our guys, my guy Brad Bell, that's the guy that redid the master bath in the Brown house. When it came time to redo the master bath, my wife Jennifer scoured the internet looking for the right person for the job. It was Brad Bell. That was the guy we picked. His name kept invariably coming back to us time and time again. I'm glad we picked him. He did tremendous work for us. I'm going to give you a cell number, his personal cell number, if you want to get him to come out and look at your job, 205-422-1758, 205-422-1758. I'll tell you what he specializes in. Master bath, kitchen, and master bedroom closets. That's his specialty. I am not telling you that is all he does. I am telling you it's what he specializes in, and he can do that work for you. The reason that matters, you spend a lot of time in those rooms. You want them to look the best they can, work the best they can. But when you sell your home, you can make a lot of money back on those rooms when they are updated. So that's what Brad is doing for you. Give him a call. AlabamaBathRemodels.com is the website. AlabamaBathRemodels.com or 205-422-1758. That's AlabamaBathRemodels.com or 205-422-1758. The SEC went 4-1. Georgia got embarrassed. But they went 4-1 in day one. So here we go. Day two for the Southeastern Conference. It starts right out of the chute, 11-15. We just discussed it. Kentucky, a 3.5-point favorite over Santa Clara. You said you stay away, which tells me it's a tough game for you to figure out. You generally don't stay away if it's not a tough game to figure out.
I mean, outside of teams named Gonzaga and St. Mary's, they've won 17 straight games. Now, I mean, at the same time, you're going to look and you're going to be like, well, Kentucky's more like St. Mary's and Gonzaga than the Seattles and the Pacifics and the Loyola Marimounts and the San Franciscos of the world. But this is a team that plays with a lot of confidence. We mentioned the fact their head coach, who has faced Mark Pope 3 other times or 4 other times, I think he's 3-1 or 2-1 lifetime against Pope. So I think the Broncos will come in with a lot of confidence. They're only catching, it's been fluctuating between 2.5 and 3.5 here. But, it's a balanced offense. You've got a ton of guys that play a lot of minutes. So, Kentucky, a more talented roster, but it's coin flip to me.
We've talked a lot about Hofstra, Alabama, and we will again in the final hour of the show. Tyler, if you will, cut number 11 here is Travis Still, the Miami, Ohio coach. We just talked about it with Texas. Quick travel, got to get to a site, whirlwind. Miami, Ohio, an 11.5-point favorite facing Tennessee. Here's the now famous America's team coach, Travis Still.
All their bigs are extremely physical, strong, and big. And so we know we're going to be in an absolute war down there. We have to gang rebound. We got to limit them to one shot only. And listen, they got other guys. I mean, they run a great offense as well. Gillespie's a phenomenal guard. Amit is super talented. I mean, we know we're going to have our hands full.
Yeah, they do have their hands full. You really like Tennessee in this one, don't you?
I do. Nate Oats, way too much in the paint. I mean, you're going to be relying on a couple of guys, and Woolfolk, who's a big. I mean, like as far as when you look at him, physically imposing 6'9", 250 pounds, but production-wise, I just don't know how they hang with Tennessee outside of the fact that Tennessee finds a way to disappoint in this tournament every year.
Yeah, every year. But generally, of late, it's been disappointing in the Elite Eight, not this early.
You tell me how you feel about this. Pressure is kind of off Miami after beating SMU.
I agree completely. House money.
Yeah, so I think it is house money. And if they go out there with their ability to shoot the three, I mean, they're coming off. If they hit 16 plus, like they were 16 of 41 against SMU. If they had 16 threes, I think they beat Tennessee. I just don't know if those shots are going in, and I think you're going to see a different perimeter defense from Rick Barnes than you saw from SMU.
Just ask Alabama. Nobody shoots more threes than Alabama in the SEC. How hard it is for them to make 16 threes against Tennessee. They're a hard team to make 16 threes
But that's
against.
your mentality, though, if you're Travis Still, right?
Yeah.
Look, this is what got us here. We score a lot of points. We shoot a lot of threes. The ultimate equalizer in college basketball is the three-point shot. Now, the problem is, are you going to be getting any quality looks against this Tennessee defense? But If I can, it's going to be about ball rotation, and if you can get looks and you can knock them down, Miami, Ohio can hang. If they are not knocking down their perimeter shots, they will get absolutely destroyed on the glass. Tennessee, best offensive rebounding team in college basketball. That's going to be a problem. Uphill battle for Miami, Ohio.
Prairie View will get smoked by Florida. Florida's a 35.5-point favorite. The only other SEC game is that Missouri-Miami game, which is our Shannara Showdown game that is on the screen there if you're watching us live. We will talk more about that game coming up a little bit later on. One more hour to go, which will include both four downs and trash, and much more on Alabama, Hofstra, and all the NCAA tournament games today. Bojangles bringing you part of the show today. That Bojangler is back at Bojangles. The Alaskan pollock filet with Bo's seasoning. The deluxe comes with lettuce, pickle, tomato, cheese, and tartar sauce. It is fantastic for a limited time right there at Bojangles. You can also start your day by putting up some threes. Those Bojangles triple-double biscuits. Triple the protein with the bacon, sausage, egg, double the cheese on Bojangles scratch-made biscuits. Like all their biscuits, they're all scratch-made. You get those ham biscuits, 2 for $5 right now. And at Bojangles, that iced coffee for a limited time, brand new at Bojangles. And end any meal with that strawberry cobbler. Great way to end a meal at Bojangles, where you can always make it bow time.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champyschicken.com.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Catch up on all today's Next Round on demand through the podcast platform of your choice, Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcast, wherever you listen. Always like, follow, subscribe, and turn on automatic downloads so you never miss any part of the Next Round.
Birmingham's fastest party returns to Barber Motorsports Park March 27th through 29th. Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix, powered by AmFirst Experience. 3 days of high-speed action, featuring the fastest drivers in the world from the IndyCar Series. Enjoy the Kids Zone, food trucks, beer garden, fan zone, and more. The Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix. Kids 15 and under get in free. Get your tickets now.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from the Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Ain't no party like a Dega party. The noise, the chaos, the will to survive. The biggest, boldest, brashest, fastest, and most intimidating track in all of NASCAR. Only one place calls that home. At Talladega, anything can happen. And at this super speedway, everything usually does.
Hell yeah, boys!
NASCAR weekend at Talladega Super Speedway, April 24th through the 26th. Get your tickets now at TalladagaSuperspeedway.com.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, final hour of the week. It is always presented the final hour each day by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken, champy'schicken.com, champy'schicken.com. Sterling and the crew have opened the doors. They got the tournament on down there. They're ready for you to come enjoy a great lunch at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken. Those po' boys, the Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, the great chicken fingers, all the sides, Megan slinging drinks at the bar. You can go enjoy it right now at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken, champy'schicken.com, Highway 119 in Alabaster.
Are you shagging flies yet on spring break?
What you mean? You don't think I'm invested in this hour? Is that what you're telling me?
You just said final hour going into the weekend. And
it is.
I guess we all,
by definition,
we will not all be back together until March 30th. Is that right?
That is correct. Some staggered vacations next week for spring break. Dunaway in Vegas. He'll be wrapping up his vacation.
Is he still alive, by the way?
He is. Well, as of no, the only text I've gotten from him is his bracket the other day. I mean, I'm leaving him alone. He's on vacation. I don't really need to bother
but I'm
him.
just wondering, would anybody do a welfare check?
I'll check on him.
Let's
do
see.
a welfare check.
I'm going to check Twitter.
Okay.
See if we got
Scott gave us a thumbs up. What you got, Scott? Instagram?
No, he sent me a picture from the golf course. Here, I'll
okay, good.
Throw it up here in a minute.
So Dunaway on a golf course.
Let me guess.
In
He's
Vegas.
Grinning, and he's doing
sunset
a
in the
selfie.
background.
So like you give me, I think it will be Dunaway's head will be the biggest thing in the picture. He'll have that grin.
So you think sun setting in the background or sphere in the background?
There's going to be a good, some kind of picturesque casino in Las Vegas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know. Scott said golf course, though. I mean, the good golf courses that are close to the Strip are high dollar. If Dunaway, there is one golf course that you can that the Sphere overlooks, and it's probably the most expensive golf course in America, among them at least.
Is that the Shadow place?
Yeah, that's Wynn's joint. So I don't believe Jim is playing that one. But good.
Okay, well that's good. He's still alive.
I'm glad to know he's still with us. What I was saying. Oh, here he is. There he goes. All right. So that was from yesterday.
I received it an hour or so ago.
An hour
I
or
can't
so.
tell you when it was taken.
All right. Proof of life. We have Jim Dunaway proof of life on that's like a pretty cool course. I've never played out west like that. Those desert courses, desert type courses. I've always wanted to, but I've never done it.
I have only played golf on vacation when I was a kid and really enjoyed playing golf at that point. But, I know golf is your love, so there is no chance I would ever go on vacation and play golf.
Oh, that's
I'm with you.
One of the reasons I go on vacation is to play golf.
It's like one of the things
courses.
when I was doing it business-wise, like we take clients out, I'll do it during the week. I would never do it on a weekend.
Oh.
You agree with that, Forrester?
I play zero golf.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah. I mean, I'm playing tomorrow.
I mean, that would be like
yesterday.
You're obviously playing today.
No, I'm not playing today, actually. I dress like this all the time. You always have Brown's playing golf. Like, I wear this every single day. Shorts and a golf shirt.
Okay, well, you don't wear shorts every day.
Every day it's hot.
Okay, well, you just look very golfish today.
I think you playing golf on vacation would be like me going on vacation and catching a movie.
I've sadly done that. Now, I've done it at the beach when it rains.
But what if it's...
Well, that's like the only thing to do at the beach when it rains, unless you want to spend a ton at the arcade.
All right, but let me put it in my language for you, Tyler. What if you go to the beach, and at the beach there is a theater that you've heard a lot about, and there's something at that theater that makes it nicer than the normal theaters you go to, and you're like, I really want to see that theater, but the only chance I've got to do it is if I'm near that theater and it's at the beach.
Yeah, but the reality is that theater is going to be more like the other theaters that you typically go see, much like that golf course is going to be like most of the golf courses you play.
Which is incorrect.
I'll be going to
totally
the Universal City Walk Theater in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So are you saying the golf courses are nicer down on the Panhandle than they are
nicer
here?
And different? Well, not necessarily. It depends on where you're playing here. They're different. They're different designs. Golf courses are different. Okay, you don't like golf. So I love golf. It's what I love doing. I hate going and sitting at the beach. You like to go sit at the beach. That is the most boring thing in the world to me. You get sand all over the place.
Yeah, but I don't understand why would you spend money to go to the beach when you could just play golf here?
Lance, that would be like saying all
I
bourbons
love going to
taste
the
the
beach.
same.
I like to go play those golf courses.
What was that,
That's
Brooks?
why I spend money.
That'd be like saying all bourbons taste the same.
Yeah. Why do you spend money on high-end bourbon? Just get the cheapest bourbon.
But I get the bourbon here. Like I don't have to go out of town to get the bourbon.
Yeah, but I mean, I like to play golf. That's why I play golf on vacation. You like to go to the beach. That's why you go to the beach.
No, I just said I would never go on vacation to do something that I didn't want to do.
That's right. I don't think anybody's going to ask you to. I go on vacation to play golf. Love it. Play anywhere I go. Now I haven't played out west. I do want to play when I go out west. You said that. Against Tennessee, Miami, Ohio would have to how many threes to win this game?
If they hit 15 plus, they got a shot. But I do think the number, I mean, they hit 16, obviously against SMU the other night. I think 15 plus is kind of that sweet spot.
15 plus threes. Give me Brooks' microphone, please, Tyler. Brooks' microphone. Same area, or excuse me, Miami, Ohio needs 15 plus threes against Tennessee, Brooks.
Yeah, so after you throw that out there, I was just kind of curious, so I went and looked. Since the 2020-21 season, so the last 6 seasons, Tennessee has played 205 games, has only given up 15 or more threes one time.
So good luck.
Yeah. I mean, that really is their path to victory. I don't know another path to victory for Miami. They're not going to change their style. They're still going to play up-tempo, and that's difficult
who they
against
are.
Tennessee.
I don't know why you would change your style.
Yeah, but they're going to shoot a lot of threes, or they're going to try to get those looks, and I think they'll even force some when they don't get those looks. But, man, that's an amazing number. Who hit the 15-plus threes?
Kentucky did it in 2024, and Tennessee only lost by 4 points. So.
Wow. I know they lost.
They play Alabama every year, Brooks, and nobody in the conference gives up more threes than Alabama, and they're not even the team.
Well, I mean, Alabama, this was Alabama's first win against Tennessee in like 6 or 7 tries, I want to say.
Which is my point. I mean, Alabama, the way they're going to beat Tennessee is by making threes, and they can't squeeze off enough to make it. What tells you Miami, Ohio can? Now, as soon as we say this, Lance, they pull the upset. But if they're going to need 15, 16 threes to win this game, you can forget it. I mean, if teams in the SEC can't do it to Tennessee, how's Miami, Ohio going to do it?
I mean, look, they're just going to have to hit the shots, though. But, we'll see.
Yeah. As Nicholas said, I mean,
to be fair, I've got Tennessee, but I would not mind seeing Miami, Ohio win this game.
Yeah, we've discussed that. Yeah, I mean, we've got Tennessee various depths. I've got them in the Sweet 16. Nicholas makes the point. I mean, to be fair, 15 seeds would beat anybody. I mean, 15 threes would beat just about anybody in the tournament. But that is definitely their path to victory. Yeah. CPAP Plus. We saw our buddy Joe O'Neill yesterday down at Wildcats.
We did.
He was enjoying the games.
Great guy, Joe Woody O'Neill. They want to make sure you're getting the proper 8+ hours of sleep each and every night. Very, very vital to your health. If you're looking for the best CPAP gear with personal service you can trust, CPAP Plus, O'Neill Medical, they are there for you. 3 convenient locations in Birmingham, 5 throughout the state. Right here in Birmingham, Pelham, Highway 280, Trustful, hundreds of 5-star Google reviews. Trust CPAP Plus for all of your CPAP needs. CPAP Plus, where every night matters. Stop in CPAP Plus. You're going to find the best service and equipment all in stock, ready for you. For more information, o'neillmed.com.
All right, it is time for our Innisfree countdown to kickoff, and we're going to touch on college football for just a moment as we do the countdown to kickoff. 162 days until kick. 162 days until college football kicks off with our friends at Innisfree. And yesterday, the NCAA Division I FBS Oversight Committee approved some penalty changes, Lance. We've talked about all of these. None of these are surprises. There's one they did not approve. One they did approve is in targeting. This is a step in the right direction, I think, in the targeting rule. If you're ejected for targeting for the first time, you can play in the next game no matter when the ejection comes.
Should be, yeah.
I agree completely. So the ejection, you're out the remainder of that game, but you play in the next game. Second targeting offense, regardless of where it falls in the game, you have to miss the first half of the following game. So even if it happens in the first half, you miss the rest of that second half and then the entire first half of the next game. That's actually a stronger penalty for the second targeting. So they kind of relaxed it a little bit for the first one, but made it stronger for the second one. A third targeting ejection, full 1-game suspension. No matter what happens, you miss the remainder of that game and a full entire game after that.
Okay, I can live with that. I don't think there's any Chuck Cecils out there. I don't think there was one player that had a third targeting from
I was going to ask you if you knew in 2025 how many times a player got ejected for 3 targets.
You just
Zero.
don't see
Never
that.
happens.
Now,
Yeah.
you see, I mean, you can't get a big-time hit, anymore, like a crunch course hit, without seeing flags all over the place at the college level. But you really don't see guys get multiple targeting offenses. I don't know how that works, but...
So that is a little bit of a relaxing of the targeting rules. I think a step in the right direction. There is an appeal process for that second one that the schools could go through before you have to miss the first half of the following game. They did change the kick deal where you can attempt a free kick after a fair catch, which I already thought was a college football rule. It is not. They did change the offensive pass interference. It is now a 10-yard penalty from the original spot rather than a 15-yard penalty. They did not change the booty shorts. I'm a little surprised by this one, actually. They did not approve the proposal that would have required leg coverings. So,
and they did argue safety, right?
I think that was it, like the knee injuries.
Yeah,
increased knee injuries. But they did not change it. So I was a little surprised by that one. I thought that one would go through because I assume a lot of the guys on this committee are old school guys that are like, you got to wear your knee pads. They should have knee pads on, but they did not change that one.
So let me take you back to the first full year of the round table back then.
Oh, my gosh.
In 2010, when Kirk Cignetti was finishing his final year under Nick Saban at Alabama, would you have ever gone back and said, that guy one day is going to drive the honorary pace car at the Indianapolis 500?
I would not. Is that what he's doing?
Yeah.
Hilarious. Kurt Cignetti driving the pace car at the Indy 500.
Now, I don't know what
he's a star now.
I don't know what the breakdown of, like, Indiana residents at the 500 compared to worldwide people coming in.
Yeah, I mean, I think they support that. That is a big event for them. I would say
50-50?
I was going to say 50-50. That feels a bit high, but maybe so. Maybe so.
I mean, what is in the crowd? I mean, that's a massive
crowd. That's a
crowd.
very large, and it's not the crowd it used to be there, but I think used to, Lance, 350,000 people, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm just going to assume, though, he is going to get a loud ovation.
I would think so, and then there's going to be a lot of people that are like, who? And half the crowd's going to cheer for him, and the other half's going to be like, who's driving the pace car?
Just on the fly, when do they lose again? So, obviously, they're coming in with the longest.
It won't be in their pre-conference.
The longest winning streak in college football with a 16-game winning streak. But, I mean, they really don't have an opportunity to lose a game until October.
Have you got their schedule?
Yeah.
All right, fire.
I mean, North Texas, Howard, Western Kentucky. Even their basketball team could win these games. Northwestern.
Think about what you're saying.
I know. At Rutgers. And then at Nebraska, that is a losable game.
Yeah, interesting. I need to see what Nebraska. By the way, I saw this today from Connor O'Gara, who was talking about the fact that Nebraska is winning their first tournament game when Indiana's not in the tournament, and Indiana's winning the national championship in football. And it's just remarkable to see that Nebraska has not won a ranked game in a decade. So, I got to confirm that's what Connor said.
I think that's right, but I'm not going to say the winning streak will end in Lincoln. Interesting game. Now, the next week, they got Ohio State coming to Bloomington. Ohio State's going to be super fired up.
That's going to be your loss.
You took our Big Ten championship. You took the national championship. But even if they survive Ohio State, I mean, I could see them grind out and win that game. That will be the biggest game in the history of Bloomington. That stadium's history, right?
Yeah. Yes.
You would agree with that.
Yes.
But then the very next weekend, they got to go to Ann Arbor to take on Michigan.
Yeah.
So they've got, we always talked about what a joke of a schedule it was the first year going 11-1 at Nebraska, Ohio State, at Michigan. 2 weeks later, USC, and then at Washington. They've got some tough-ass games.
Yeah, they do. They do. I don't know. I would say, obviously, Ohio State is going to be that loss, but that's the one you're obviously going to default to. The fact that Nebraska hasn't won a game against a top 25 opponent in a decade is mind-blowing. Just absolutely mind-blowing. All right, we're about to do 4 downs. You mentioned Inverness Country Club, though. I'll be back out there playing golf tomorrow for dang sure, man.
Okay, what was the food and drink layout yesterday for you at the Inverness Country Club? I'm in love with their grill. They just incredible food. That smash burger. You like the Italian Club?
I like that Italian Club. It's in a wrap now. The Italian Club wrap is fantastic. Saw some guys getting some wings. They've got tremendous wings there at Hoover Country Club to watch the games. I had the Uncrustable on the course. Always terrific. Yeah, it's the kind of food you get at Hoover. Hoover's food, Inverness food is tremendous.
Yeah, so they've got memberships that fit everyone. So whether you're a golfer, you play tennis, you just want that social membership, they've got it there for you at the Inverness Country Club. Newly renovated clubhouse and dining, fantastic place to work out. That cabana-style resort pool, that'll be big this summer for you. To take a tour of the club, get in, see Erin. Make sure you tell her the guys from the next round sent you. For more information, ICCalabama.com.
And it is time for 4 downs every single day. 4 downs is presented by our friends at Central Alabama Asphalt and Construction. When you ride by and see these major state, federal government, municipal roadway projects, there's a really good chance you're seeing Central Alabama Asphalt and Construction do those projects. And it may tell you that your project is just too small for them. That is not the case. They can do the driveways, the parking pads, the smaller asphalt projects, parking lots like at churches, community centers, things like that. At Central Alabama Asphalt and Construction, same crews, same quality, same no excuse standards, no matter the size of the job. So get an estimate on your job, 205-349-0910, 205-349-0910, or centralalabamaasphalt.com.
First down.
Jahmyr Gibbs, 24 years old. If I ask you ultimately better career, Jahmyr Gibbs or former Alabama basketball player Brandon Miller?
Brandon Miller's tearing it up in the NBA. I am going to say Brandon Miller because he is playing very, very well in Charlotte. He is, what is he now, 2 years from free agency or 3 years from free agency? The rest of this season.
Year 3.
Yeah, so it's the rest of this season and then 2 more, right, before he can get to free agency?
I think that's right.
And he will be, I think he would, the way he's played, he'll be a coveted free agent.
Well, and I think that's a really, really good Charlotte team that is playing basketball. Like where they are right now in the Eastern Conference is kind of wide open.
Yeah.
I think they're a dangerous draw.
Yeah, I'm actually going to say Brandon Miller because I think he'll do well in free agency, get to a bigger team. Gibbs has had a really good career, and that he's played at Detroit's best time in their history, obviously. But I think Brandon Miller.
Second down.
Spike Lee is 69 years old today. Favorite Spike Lee movie?
Don't know that I've ever seen a Spike Lee movie.
You have.
Okay, well, give me some options.
Inside Man.
The one with Denzel, the bank job?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. That was a good
Jodie
movie.
Foster, Clive Owen.
Yep. That was a good movie.
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah. White Man Can't Jump.
Did you see He Got Game?
Nope.
You see Clockers?
Nope.
Malcolm X?
Nope.
Do the Right Thing?
Nope.
My favorite is probably Black Klansman,
So
2018. Do you have a favorite?
Probably Do the Right Thing. That one's just, it just holds up so well.
That was
iconic
so long ago.
performances and lines in
1989.
there.
Based on this exercise, my answer is going to be Inside Man. That's the one I've seen, so we're going to go Inside Man. Liked it.
I would have been shocked if you had if you were rattling off Spike Lee movies.
Yeah, I could not have told you. I even said White Man Can't Jump, which is not a Spike Lee movie.
It's not.
So I have not seen many Spike Lee flicks. Do you like him as a director?
I do.
Okay.
I really like Spike Lee as a director. Aside from his remake of a Korean film called Old Boy, Lance and I talked about that on the next reel. That was a disappointment.
Well, the last movie this year I thought was a bitter disappointment. Highest to Lowest on Apple. Did you like it?
I really liked that one.
I did not like it at all. Yeah, I thought it was awful. I'm glad we can disagree on a lot of these movies.
I am too, yeah.
Third down.
And I just haven't seen them. Y'all disagree on them? I just don't watch them.
Mookie Blaylock, 59 years old, blast from the past.
Better Mookie Wilson or Mookie Blaylock?
Who would you go there?
I don't know. Mookie Wilson had a solid career, won a world championship with the Mets.
You know, unfortunately, the last thing we heard from Mookie Blaylock, do you remember he was battling seizures, wasn't supposed to be driving?
Oh, no.
You know, he got in that wreck, killed somebody, ended up doing I think he did 6 or 7 years. Hard time. He's out now. But if I asked you better Oklahoma career, Mookie Blaylock or Brian Bosworth?
I do not remember Mookie Blaylock's Oklahoma basketball career.
Those were really good Oklahoma teams under Billy Tubbs.
Billy Tubbs, as I was going to ask you, was that Billy Tubbs or Lon Kruger by then?
I mean, he was a lottery guy when he came out.
Yeah.
I mean, was one of the best defensive guards in college basketball history.
So
I would go Bosworth.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go the Boz. I mean, the Boz as a middle linebacker was probably the face of college football back then, for good or bad. Like, he was a controversial guy, but I think he was probably the most recognizable player in college football back then.
Yeah, you're right.
So, I mean, that's saying a lot for a middle linebacker, not a quarterback, not a running back, but a middle linebacker. But he was, and he was a very controversial figure, obviously, but I think he was the face of college football in the mid-'80s.
I didn't even mean to make that a down, though, with Mookie Blaylock. I came across his birthday. I just wanted to throw that name out for you.
Yeah.
Let
I
me
forgot
do
that part of the story.
A different one for third down, okay?
Right.
This day in 2020, the Tiger King was released.
Okay.
And I think everybody, I mean, they were just looking for something original, programming, something to buy time during the pandemic.
Perhaps the greatest entertainment timing in the history of entertainment, to release that on this day.
And I remember we did a 1 hour with Charles Barkley for Redmont Vodka back in the day, and I told him about it. He watched it and then cussed me like a dog.
Yeah.
He was like, I cannot believe. I was like, you didn't have to watch the entire thing. But that's what leads me to this question. Is there anything you watched from start to finish that you were like the most ridiculous thing that you've seen from start to finish you didn't tap out on? Because Tiger King's got to be right up there.
Yeah, I mean, that would be it. I don't think I finished Tiger King. I think I kind of got tired of it and didn't watch the last episode.
In hindsight, this would be, I'm ashamed of it now, but I watched pretty much the entire original run of Jersey Shore with my wife.
No.
It was
Well,
straight
she's from
garbage television.
She's from Jersey, though, right?
She is.
Okay.
And she hates the show, too, by the way, because it's a stereotype. But as she said, it was perfect garbage television. If it makes any sense at all.
Yeah,
it's something you watch to make yourself feel better.
My niece, Aria, we were spring break 2 years ago. And I don't know how it got on, but it wasn't the Jersey Shore. It was like where they did one at the Floribama
Shore.
Oh, that was... I heard about that show.
I don't know how it was on, but like one episode was on, and so I'm going through the living room. You know, we're all sharing this house down at the beach. And then like 2 days later, I go back through, and it's like episode like 11, and she's still watching it.
Yeah.
You know, and she's like 9 years old. I was like, probably not the best thing for you to be watching. But I'm not your parent.
How about randomly, I saw yesterday they had to cancel The Bachelor because the old girl that was supposed to be the Bachelorette in it
got in a fight.
Yeah, she had some issue. I mean, that's a big-time show for ABC, and they just basically had to say, I'm not going to be able
She's
to do it.
got like criminal charges, like domestic assault.
Yeah, but like what were the charges?
I don't know. I didn't really want to read the article.
I would think this is what the producers want, right?
Yeah.
Like you want her throwing shit around and having disputes and confrontations.
I think there's still a lawsuit hanging over. I didn't read the article. I just read the headline like I always do. But I just thought it was crazy that you're this close. And that is a huge show for ABC.
Oh, yeah, Maddie brought this up last night because you watched the promos with our man Jesse Palmer. They were promoing the shit out of that.
Yeah, and it's one of their biggest summer shows, and they're just going to have to cancel it. They can't even do it.
But how do you not know that the core of that show has these pending charges?
I don't know. Yeah, that's true. How did you not do enough background check?
Fraud, forgery, and perjury for allegedly faking pregnancies to defraud former Bachelor star Clayton Etchard.
Oh, that seems like a perfect controversy for that show. It really does. Like, you
faking pregnancy. That sounds like Jerry Springer.
How do you not just go find another girl? Like, I mean, the world's full of women,
and they all would love to do that.
Oh gosh,
like,
yes.
You literally can sling a dead cat and hit an influencer, right? Especially in any major city.
Yes, and clearly your background check's not too extensive. I just don't know. I don't know how you have to cancel the whole show. How you don't just go find another female. I mean, again, world's full of about half the world's females, so go find one and do the show.
Well, how do you know that the other guys are going to fall in love with this girl like they were the last one?
Because they're on TV trying to make money and get famous. Somebody's
I don't
going
think
to fall in love
anybody
with her.
falls in love.
Yeah.
Like all these dudes, they want the same thing. They want followers. They want to ultimately bang her.
No, I'm not going to watch it. I don't give a rip one way or the other if they do the show. I've never watched an episode. I can't believe that they just had to cancel the whole thing. They couldn't just delay it for a minute while they found another girl.
Yeah, like that is shocking.
Unless they've already. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Now Samuel says they'd already filmed the season. I didn't know they filmed it that far in advance. That's tough right there.
One of those where it finds its way on a black market.
Yep, 100%.
Fourth down.
Monumental day here. This day, 1930, KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, was founded. If I asked Kentucky Trail Santa Clara 11-10 with 13 and change to go in the first half, what is Kentucky most known for? The Kentucky Derby? So horse racing, basketball, chicken, or bourbon?
Chicken.
I think I'd go chicken, yeah. Isn't it like a Christmas Day delicacy in Japan or something?
I was just about to bring that up. It's a Christmas tradition in Japan to get a bucket of the Colonel's fried chicken.
Internationally, I will agree with you guys. I think it is chicken.
In the U.S.
In the U.S., is it basketball, is it horse racing, is it bourbon?
It's basketball. More people, but anybody can tell you what the Kentucky Derby is. But nobody can tell you who won the Kentucky Derby. Like 2 people can tell you who won the Kentucky Derby.
Yes, bourbon is still kind of niche, but...
Yeah. Like you pay attention to it. Kentucky Derby winner last year was?
No idea.
All right. There you go. And you pay attention to it. Like you probably look at it for Lance's Light. Do you ever give out a
I
lot?
have in the past, but I didn't last year.
Yeah. Most recent Kentucky Derby winner you can guarantee me you could name.
Barbaro, the only one I was at, and that was 20-plus years
20 years ago.
Secretariat, didn't he win the Triple Crown?
Yeah, that was in the 70s.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
That's a long time ago.
What was the horse that recently did the Triple Crown?
Yeah, see, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't pay attention to horse racing.
I remember we brought it up on the show when it happened.
Yeah, and we quickly forgot it.
So it's either bourbon or...
Justified was
basketball.
the last horse.
Yeah, bourbon or basketball.
I think
Justified, good show coming out of Kentucky. I guess they're known for meth a little bit too.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
I was talking about Justified last night because I was talking.
Did you finish it?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I love Justified. That's a fantastic show. Walton Goggins plays maybe the best villain in TV history in that show.
That's stretch, but he does play really good with
fantastic.
Boyd Crowder.
Boyd Crowder is terrific.
You need to watch Deadwood, Al Swearingen.
Oh, is he better than Boyd Crowder?
Oh.
Who plays him?
And the interesting thing is Timothy Oliphant is actually in.
Oh, is it
Deadwood? Yeah.
I like Timothy Oliphant. All right, that's 4 downs. Did I answer the question? It's either bourbon or basketball. I think I'll go probably bourbon. More people consume bourbon than watch basketball.
Yeah, I think worldwide I am going to go chicken.
Yep.
But I think I will go. We're so close to basketball. I might go Derby because it is transcending.
See, the funny thing is, I think chicken would be last place
in America.
Yeah,
I think you're probably right.
That chain has just gone so far downhill.
Yeah,
and we do have a lot of chicken here.
We do, and it's better stuff.
A lot of better chicken.
Yeah, better chicken. All right, that's 4 downs. Hey, NASCAR coming back to the Talladega Super Speedway. That's a better race than the Kentucky Derby, too. Would you give me that? The Jack Links 500?
Much faster.
Yeah, much faster. Those horses would get dusted by one of the cars at Talladega.
Can you get a mint julep at Dega?
You could probably
get kicked in the ribs and shamed.
If you ask the wrong person for one.
You shitting me, boy.
Talladega Super. Y'all listen to this. TalladegaSuperspeedway.com. TalladegaSuperspeedway.com. That is where you go to get your spot for the Jack Links 500 weekend coming up April 24th through 26th at Talladega Superspeedway. Reserve your spot in the infield, the camping area, and the grandstands, and also get that garage experience. The enhanced garage experience enhances everything about your visit to Talladega. It is the most immersive in all of NASCAR. TalladegaSuperspeedway.com. TalladegaSuperspeedway.com or 877-GO-TO-DEGA. Trash is next.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at Ryan Brown Live.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champyschicken.com.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Looking for the ultimate weekend in Birmingham? The Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix is back at Barber Motorsports Park, March 27th through 29th, bringing big energy, big crowds, and unforgettable moments. It's more than a race. It's a full day of excitement, family fun, food, music, and world-class competition. All set on one of the most beautiful venues in racing. The Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix at Barber Motorsports Park. Get your tickets now.
When you crave activity like we do, you belong in the Roback family. Get the best golf wear, hoodies, and activewear for men and women at Roback.com. Use promo code TNR20 to get 20% off your order. That's Roback.com, promo code TNR20. Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness. Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Ain't no party like a Dega party. The noise, the chaos, the will to survive. The biggest, boldest, brashest, fastest, and most intimidating track in all of NASCAR. Only one place calls that home. At Talladega, anything can happen. And at this super speedway, everything usually does.
Hell yeah, boys!
NASCAR weekend at Talladega Super Speedway, April 24th through the 26th. Get your tickets now at TalladegaSuperspeedway.com.
We are getting to trash. I don't know why this was being discussed when I came back from the restroom. I do know why the topic came up. Basically, it was said from someone on this staff that today's loss to Hofstra, if Alabama happens to lose it, would be the most embarrassing loss in Alabama basketball history. I don't know if I go embarrassing. I mean, you could find a blowout in there. No, I know what the most embarrassing loss in Alabama basketball history.
Let me play the other side of this. Just based on where Alabama basketball is, and really good runs over the last few years from Nate Oats in this tournament. They're a double-digit favorite. Hofstra should not be able to stay on the court with them. And based on the Aden Holloway situation, I think it magnifies it even more. I told you in break that I thought it was the round of 32 loss to Kent State.
Kent State was a 10 seed. Bama a 2 seed. I was at that game, actually, in Greenville, South Carolina.
There was just such an expectation for Bama that year.
Well, I remember Bama played the SEC championship game in Atlanta against Mississippi State, and State won that game. And I went over to I think Scott Griffin and I were there together for Jocks. And Scott Griffin and I went to the selection show with Alabama basketball. They let some of the media members in, and they legitimately thought they were still getting a 1 seed. Like when the ones popped up and they weren't one of them, the team, I mean, there was a collective groan. Like they thought they were going to get a 1. They got a 2, beat Florida Atlantic in the first game in Greenville, and then lost to Kent State. That was Antonio Gates' Kent State team.
Sure was.
I would say the most embarrassing loss was the basketball game at Auburn that Alabama lost. What was it, 94-40 or something like that?
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Damn, so they had
Scott, do you remember that game?
Was that? It was a 50-point loss?
I do. I'm pretty sure you're right on the final score, too. I think it was 94-40.
What year was that? Do you remember, Scott?
Oh.
My gosh.
94-40. And here's what's crazy about it. You want to know what's even...
Yeah, please remind me of that game. How does that happen?
Alabama sucked that day, and Auburn probably hit everything they looked at.
98.
98 to what?
No,
1998?
1998.
Yeah. Okay. Because I'm gonna tell you what's even crazier about that. Hey, can you do a commercial while I look this up? Do Lance, New York Butcher Shop. Can you tell everybody about New York Butcher Shop?
Hey, the weekend is here. Maybe you don't want to leave the house. You're having friends over. You just want to cook for you and the family. They've got the freshest meats out there, from the steaks, the ribs, the chicken, the pork, the in-house sides made fresh every single day, and a fantastic selection of fine wines and desserts. Perfect for March Madness weekend. 2 locations, the original in Cabo Heights, Highway 119 in Greystone. Get in, see Jim. Great staff, butchers, rare quality, well-done service. It's the New York Butcher Shop.
And always our friends at Central State Bank, the bank that is big enough to meet every single need you have, whether it's buying that new car, starting a new business, but they're also small enough to know you because they are a community bank. It's what you get with our friends at Central State Bank. Listen, man, they can take care of whatever that need is, and it's local decision makers who are living in your community. They're working at the same places you work, their family does. They go to the same churches, same schools. They're the ones making the decisions. That's what it's like to deal with a local bank. Central State Bank is that bank. Central State Bank, member FDIC. 1998, this was Sunday. I remember it being a Sunday game. Of January 18th. There's the date. January 18th at Auburn, 94-40. Auburn won by 54 points.
My gosh.
I'll see if I can find a box score.
That was the really good Auburn team, though, right? Or was that 99?
That was 99.
Okay.
They were on their way. Cliff Ellis was already coaching there.
They
had a lot of the same people.
First glance at how good they could be, right?
Yeah, they had a lot of the same people. Bryant Smith, Doc Robinson, Scott Pullman, all those guys that ended up making that runner on that team. Here's what's crazy about it, though. So you tell me what's more embarrassing. And this is, if I could say, something could possibly be more embarrassing than losing 94-40, losing by 54. Is 2 weeks later on a Sunday, they go back to Tuscaloosa and Alabama wins by 16. What's crazier, losing by 54 points or 2 weeks later losing by 16 to a team you beat by 54 points? Neither one of those make any sense, do they?
Yeah, no.
I mean, that's
a 70-point turnaround.
I know.
Same two games.
Scott, do you remember that part of it, that they went back and they lost?
No, I've blocked that part out of my memory.
94-40, and you go back 2 weeks later and you lose. I think it was by 16. I'm going to try to confirm the score. It's kind of hard to find these old scores. Lose by 16 to a team you just beaten by 54 2 weeks earlier. I was like, man, I can't make any of that make any sense. So there you go. I don't know what. I would say that's the most embarrassing loss in Alabama basketball history. When you lose by 54 to your arch rival.
I mean, they could play the Celtics with a healthy Jason Tatum and not lose by that many.
I would think you're right about that. Yeah, 73-58 was the return game. And it was literally just a couple of weeks later. I mean, it's crazy to think about that's the way that played out. Anyway, there you go. Postseason wise, this would be one of the worst ones. But that 2-seed Alabama team, that was a good basketball team under Mark Gottfried, and that was really the first time under Gottfried you'd been like, okay, this team's got something, man, and they could make a run in the tournament. And then not long after that, they actually made their first Elite Eight run of all time. So I don't know. I would not consider this. This would be a bad loss for Alabama, but I wouldn't put it in the embarrassing category. I mean, 13's beat 4 is a lot. I gave you the number the other day. I think it's 24 of the last 40 tournaments. A 13's beaten a 4, so it's not that uncommon. I don't think it's going to happen today.
I mean, yeah, you see it a lot. I don't think it will happen today either, but I think it would be a very embarrassing loss.
Yeah, it's going to with especially with everything that's going on around it. To your point, part of it is, one of your star players has a very, very public
seesaw chance. This is the last game Nate Oats will ever coach at the University of Alabama.
Oh, I'd put it very low.
Would you put it at 1%?
Oh, no, I mean, bigger than 1%. I mean, if the North Carolina job comes open again, if I'm North Carolina's athletic director, the job comes open, my very first phone call is Todd Golden. I just wonder if Todd Golden has always wanted to coach the bluest of blue bloods. And
I don't think he would take that job.
Probably not, but you don't know till you ask.
Yeah.
And wouldn't you 100% ask him?
Yeah, I would definitely ask. And then behind the scenes, you don't know how much the people that are important to Todd Golden and his role were behind him when those allegations were coming out last year at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, there's a lot of things behind the scenes you don't know. And can North Carolina offer him something he's always wanted?
Well,
So you never
if
know.
Hofstra and Alabama play 10 times, how many times does Hofstra win?
1.
I would say 2.
2,
Yeah.
okay. So yeah, I'd put it very, very low. Yeah. Very low on that.
I agree.
Also, before we get to trash, Scott, you tell me we have not only proof of life from Dunaway, but actual video from Dunaway from the golf course?
We do. Jim does not appear in this video, but a coyote does.
That's like somebody's backyard.
Yeah, it's just looking for a small pet.
Oh, dear. Let's hope it doesn't find it in this video. Man. I mean, it's just a different world out in the desert, isn't it?
I have no context either. Like he sent me the picture and this video of a coyote.
But the coyote's got a good strut.
He does. That coyote's confident right there. I mean, just right. Boy, you hook a drive, you're over there in the coyotes, aren't you?
I don't know how people live in Vegas.
I really don't either. I mean, can you imagine walking out in your backyard and there's just a coyote trotting through the backyard? I mean, what would your reaction be?
That happens here in Alabama.
Yeah, we do have coyotes. Now, they're in a little more rural areas. I don't really see deer all the time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a group of deer that like to chill out by the steps going up to my apartment. They get
Just smoking weed all together, playing hacky sack.
I don't know what they're doing. They get really close.
Man, the deer are like out where we live, even further out. The deer, they're pretty heavy in my neighborhood.
Man,
I see them probably every third morning. I see deer.
I've never understood the animal trophies all over somebody's house. To each their own, though. But I've got a lot of friends that are big hunters, and there's this one deer that is in my neighborhood all the time at night, and he's usually alone, and it's just got this massive rack on it, like one of the best racks I've ever seen.
On a deer.
Yeah, and I just, very good, bro.
I thought I clarified that.
2 minutes before trash.
I just feel really bad.
Can't turn that around that quick.
I feel bad for those deer.
Yeah.
They just don't have anything to eat.
That's why they're in your neighborhood. They're looking for your trash or something, right? All right, before we get to trash, as Tyler mentioned, don't forget left of the screen, if you're watching us, if you're not, we're going to tell you how to get involved. Shannara Showdown, Miami is taking on Missouri. That's our game tonight. Alexander Shannara is being very generous again this year. 4 places he'll pay in the Shannara Showdown. The winner gets their choice, bottle of Pappy or a $1,000 Amex gift card, and we'll go down from there. $500 Amex gift card, $250 Amex card. Also on the line there, we'll pay 4 places in the Shannara Showdown. The way this works, every single day there's a game at nextroundlive.com. There is going to be the game up. You're playing it against the point spread. Just make your pick. And every pick you get correct, you're in the drawing. So it's not like the bracket where one crap day and you're out, or you lose the Final Four team, you're out. No, sir. You get a chance to win all along the tournament. We're keeping you in this whole thing with the Shannara Showdown. And you think this will be an entertaining game tonight, Miami, Missouri?
I think it will be a really, really good game based on what that number is. And, again, we've got a 7-star play up and available at that. Hopefully you guys will do better than you did on your Georgia against the Billikens.
Only 31% got it right last night. 31% went St. Louis. A lot of SEC love for Georgia.
I would say this game will be a lot more split than that, though.
Yeah, I think you're probably going to get 50-50. It's a close point spread and all that, probably 50-50. Of course, that was last night, too. All right, trash going to be brought to you by Hemp Hill today, and we'll get to it. Hemp Hill Services, whether it's hot or cold.
Yeah, home or business, these guys can help you out. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the fine folks there at Hemp Hill Services. Trust the name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954, whether it's plumbing, heating, or cooling, home or business. Hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
After the break, we're going to interview Eric Weihenmayer, who climbed the highest mountain in the world, Mount Everest. But he's gay. He's blind.
LT's Trash is presented by Bud Light.
Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. The weekend is here, and nothing like sitting back watching college basketball with a cold, delicious Bud Light. We start first. I came across this. A Boston woman meets a guy on a night out. They share a kiss.
Okay.
When she Googles him the next morning, she sees a link to his wedding website.
Uh-oh. What do you do there if you're the girl? Well, I mean, we're not females.
This is where the debate starts.
All right.
The debate is whether or not she should tell his fiance. In a video with over 547,000 views, TikToker Grace sits in a circle with her roommates. They all look shocked as she pans around the room. One screen text reads, when you're stalking the guy you kissed at the bar last night and find his wedding website. Now, in the comments of Grace's viral video, women assure her she's not alone in this experience of finding out that they had hooked up with someone in a relationship. One shares, quote, "Yep, this happened to me once. I was totally distraught for the fiance. Of course, I told her. Turns out they had been together for 10 years. And I went home to her that night, or went home with him that night. Matched with a guy on Tinder, talked for a bit, scheduled a little date. But when I looked up his name just to check, his wedding video popped up from the year before. So this dude was married."
Well, now, I would say being on Tinder, that's a different, like if you got, these did not exist when you and I got engaged. But if you were on Tinder and you got engaged, wouldn't your first step be, let's go ahead and delete those Tinder profiles?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you also, like, I don't know the questions that are asked. You've been on some of these things, haven't you? I mean, do people ask you, are you in a relationship? Or is the assumption you're not because you're on there?
The assumption is that you're not, although if you do go on there, you'll see a ton of people that are unhappily married and will tell you that up front.
Yeah, I mean, DTF St. Louis, right? I mean, Ashley Madison. We remember when that list got released.
Oh, yeah.
And some of the names on that list.
Nobody got work done that day.
You never would have believed some of the people that were on there. So I would think this happens
all the time. A lot of people
time.
got hacked, is what I learned in the Ashley Madison list down.
But I guess like what you're saying, though, Tyler, is you probably need to disclose that information on the front side to make sure that your girl is not getting reached out to, or your guy is not getting reached out to on the backside. I can't find whether or not she reached out to the fiance. But interesting.
Yeah, the old Tinder, it's going to get some people in trouble if you don't delete that one when you get engaged / married.
So,
or even when you're just dating. Like I would think if you're engaged, like you've already gotten rid of Tinder a long time ago.
Here's what I would say though: like if you're dating, the girl or the guy is going to know you met on Tinder. So at some point, the relationship's going to progress to the point you bring it up. Like, hey, we met on Tinder, but I feel like we got a good thing right here. Do you want to go ahead and delete our Tinders and?
Well, I think also, like, some people probably dig deeper about the past than others, but I would think that would be a question in today's dating. Have you ever been on one of these sites if you didn't meet on one?
Yeah. So, but I think then if the answer is no, I want to keep my Tinder, then you probably know where the relationship's headed at that point, right? It's a good conversation to have.
So, in your age range, what do you think about single people that are on some kind of dating app? Do you think it's over 50%?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, easily.
So this has made news a lot in the past. The Masters Club dinner, former champion, they get to pick the menu.
Right. Yeah, it's
Rory
great
McIlroy has revealed his menu for the Masters Club dinner on Tuesday before the tournament.
So people wanted me to go through this and grade it. So here we go. We'll do it in trash.
Okay, go ahead.
No. You read it because I'd forgotten.
So
where
the appetizers, it looks like peach and ricotta flatbread, which I'm all in. Rock shrimp tempura.
Yeah, and I love shrimp tempura.
Yeah, bacon wrapped dates.
And
grilled elk sliders.
100% in. All appetizers I want to try.
With caramelized onion jam and roasted garlic aioli.
Oh, all about it.
Yeah,
the yellowfin.
Because I want to go back to the peach and ricotta flatbread with balsamic, hot honey, and basil. I mean, woo-hoo.
Oh, hey, first course, yellowfin, tuna, carpaccio. The main course, the Wagyu filet or seared salmon.
Either one, I would choose the Wagyu filet if you're asking. Though I honestly prefer prime over Wagyu, just my personal preference.
And the dessert, the sticky toffee pudding, vanilla ice cream, and warm toffee sauce. What an uppity MFer, though.
Hey, but what a great meal he put together. What about that is bad? Give me one bad thing on that meal.
Nothing. I mean, hopefully that's what you're going to get at Mother Load or wherever you're going. What is
Mother
it?
Wolf.
Mother Wolf. Yeah.
I'm going to eat a Mother Load of it.
Yeah, that's a good-looking menu.
Yeah, spectacular menu. I'd go with the Wagyu.
Who has had the most embarrassing?
Not really. Well, a lot of people made fun of Bubba Watson's.
Well, that's not surprising.
I know.
Hick.
Tiger did cheese because he was very young. Remember when he won the Masters in '97? He did cheeseburgers and milkshakes.
Yeah, and that's when.
But I think there's always a steak option or a fish option.
That's when Fuzzy got in a little trouble, right?
A little.
Scheffler last year had the Scotty-style cheeseburger sliders, firecracker shrimp, meatball and ravioli bites, Texas-style chili.
Yeah, I remember we talked about his, and we were all like, yep, all in on that one, too.
Yeah.
I think the famous one was Sandy Lyle, who was, he's Scottish and served haggis. Which
it's sheep stomach,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. Again, there's always a steak and fish option for those that don't
By
want
the
to
way, not just sheep stomach, but fermented sheep stomach.
Roy might be a foodie, but I am going to say he had help on preparing this menu. Is that fair?
I would think so. Whoever helped him did a great job.
So a man who had a chopstick stuck in his throat for almost a decade has, at last, had them removed after fearing the surgery. And now, at some point or another, when you've been eating, you probably made a mistake with the utensils, accidentally biting down on a fork or spoon. Can be painful, but it won't last long. Now, in the case of a 46-year-old man from China, known only as Wang, he suffered a big mistake almost a decade ago as he swallowed chopsticks. I don't know how this is possible, but as per multiple reports in his homeland, Wang had the 15-inch long metal chopstick lodged in his throat after he accidentally swallowed it while drinking. That is impossible to do, right? You can't swallow a 15-inch chopstick if you're not trying to do it on purpose. Accidentally, you can't do it.
I don't know how you would swallow a chopstick. I mean, they are a minimal chopstick is.
Well, this is 15 inches.
Okay, so it's
it was 15 centimeters. So it's about 5 inches.
Okay. Well, it says here Wang had a 15-inch long metal chopstick.
I bet
that's a mistype on my end.
Well,
That's
it
my
does
bad.
seem like a very long chopstick, but still, even if you go to 5 inches, that's still something you don't accidentally swallow. Now, instead of rushing
Tyler,
it,
they're just everywhere right now.
What are?
The trash, the
you'll
future
see
trash
Monday.
opens. Yeah, the future trash opens.
So instead of rushing to have it removed right away, 46-year-old had fears about having surgery. As per the South China Morning Post, Wang has suffered occasionally because of the stuck utensil, but suffered in great pain in the early part of this year, so he hurried to the hospital to have it checked out. According to this, 46-year-old underwent a minimal invasive operation, removed the chopstick, and he's doing okay right now.
Okay, well, good. I'm glad he's doing okay. I really don't know how you swallow a 5-inch chopstick.
And look at the way it's lodged.
I know. There's probably another side of this story. I don't know what it would possibly be, but.
So DoorDash literally paying Dashers to wash dishes, cook food, and make their beds is part of a new way to train AI robots. Now, as reported by Bloomberg, the company launched a new app called Task, where couriers can film themselves completing daily chores. These paid opportunities include things such as recording an unscripted conversation in Spanish, making a bed, washing dishes by hand, loading a dishwasher, trimming plants, or cooking with a frying pan. DoorDash says the photos and videos workers submit will be used to train and test its AI systems, along with tools used by partners across retail, insurance, hospitality, and tech. Company is also rolling out a new in-app digital task for couriers. These include snapping photos of meals for restaurant menus, capturing hotel entrances to mark drop-off spots, and scanning store shelves to track inventory.
So basically, we need a photo of the hotel entrance of the St. Regis in Atlanta. And if I live in Atlanta, I can take that. All I got to go is do is shoot a photo, upload it, and I get paid.
It's something you've probably done before, you know. Doing a grand entrance into the St. Regis.
Yeah.
Now this is just to train the robots to do it.
So I get paid for it, but I'm only training the robots?
Yeah. You're uploading the videos of like someone hand washing dishes, so that way the dishwashing robot knows the proper procedure.
But get on this on the front end, because once they're established, these jobs are going away.
Right.
Like
at least I've made money doing it. I was talking about the Elon Musk deal.
Which one? Don't save anymore?
No, the Elon Musk, where he talks about how AI is actually going to create a situation where people don't have to work.
No, that's what I'm talking about. Like he said, don't worry about contributing any more to your 401k.
Yeah, that it's going to be cheaper to live now. Yeah. Going to need to see a little more to go for it.
I've always wondered if that's like a legitimate plan for them, or if that's something they're saying to justify the massive amounts of investments they need.
Well, keep in mind, in the retail space, I mean, pretty much almost any industry depends on retail being healthy, right? If retail is not healthy, if retail fails, a lot of industries are going to fall with it eventually. So you can replace the AIs all you want, or you can replace people with AI all you want, but if they don't have money to buy your product, you've wasted your time. So at some point, there's got to be a way that people could still buy the product you're building. You can't put the entire workforce out of business with no way of making money.
Well, that's what doesn't make any sense, because the numbers continue to go up and the trickle down financially Like, what gives?
Yeah. So at some point, you gotta they're smart enough business people to realize, I know I'm saving money here, but I got to have people that buy my product.
I mean, right now there are people. I mean, I got up to a point, and this is embarrassing to admit, but I was spending $400 or $500 a month on DirecTV. Like, if I'm not making any money and I'm not saving money, how the hell am I going to afford $400 to $500 a month on DirecTV?
Yeah.
Finally, scientists believe turbulent, quote, space weather around distant stars could be scrambling potential alien signals before they even reach Earth. Now, the idea comes from a new study published in the Astrophysical Journal, which suggests that stellar activity may distort radio transmissions from extraterrestrial civilizations, making them much harder for scientists to detect. Now, new research carried out by the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence suggests any such signals of potential alien origin may not stay neat and narrow by the time they leave their home star system. Now, stellar winds, plasma turbulence, and eruptions such as a coronal mass ejection can interact with radio waves and spread their energy across multiple frequency. When this happens, signal becomes smeared and weaker, potentially dropping below the detection thresholds used by many of these searches. Now, lead researchers said signals altered this way could slip past existing detection systems, even if they are present. Went on to say if a signal gets broadened by its own star's environment, it can slip below their detection thresholds. So in essence, aliens out there looking for other life form, they can't get this signal, and so they're not going to explore Earth possibly.
Yeah, that's the idea, is that we haven't been able to get signals out to them, and they can't get signals out to us without it being heavily distorted because of bad space weather.
And look at how sad the alien is.
He's so sad. He just wants to call Earth.
Yeah, I would just like to find people at Earth.
I heard this theory yesterday for the first time that aliens might have come here back in the prehistoric days and seen dinosaurs, and they're like, we don't need to go back to Earth.
What do you think if they? But when you think if they had the technology to be here in prehistoric days, they've got technology to now know that the dinosaurs don't exist?
Maybe.
And that it's just people now?
Big galaxy, though, right?
The other theory behind aliens is that they're us in the future. That human beings, over time, have gotten have lost more and more hair and gotten smaller, bigger heads. Like if you look at just like the different iterations.
Well, it's true. Like if you look back at the Cro-Magnon, he looks different than we do.
Yeah, but we haven't gotten smaller. We've gotten bigger as a society.
Well, yeah, but I mean, who knows if it doesn't go the other way?
Yep. So the idea is just like over time, you end up with skinnier people and big heads.
I don't know anybody's got eyes like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Those are big eyes.
That's all I got.
All right, that is trash, and that is the show. We're finished for another week. It's going to be a little chopped up next week with who's in here. You got Mick Gillespie Monday and Tuesday with you, right?
Yeah, from last call, Mick is going to come in Monday, Tuesday at some point. We'll give you more details on that. But, yeah, we'll be recapping what's going on going into week 2 of the NCAA tournaments, where your brackets are, a little spring football, and be all over the place next week.
A lot of stuff. Dunaway will be back Wednesday. I'll be with him from Vegas on Thursday. We got a lot to get to next week. I promise you we will we'll do it all. Everybody have a great weekend. Hope your brackets survive it. Enjoy the college basketball. We will see you Monday on the next round.